Hi, welcome to the Squares of the Roundtable podcast. Thanks for joining us this week. I'm Jeff Stein, and with me are Mike Boyle and Ivan Rivera. It is our 41st show, as supposedly we are, well, supposedly it's March, but I don't know about that one. Gentlemen, I'll start with you, Mr. Boyle.
Yo.
How was your week? What's going on with you?
I had a good week, aside from just snow and cold and just being sick of this weather. I'm done with March. Everyone is. It's just frustrating. Single-digit temperatures in March. Supposed to be getting rain and getting ready to seeing the grass turn from yellow to green.
Yeah. No.
But green is coming. It's March, so we're in like a lion, but hopefully we'll be out like the other creature.
Where did that all come from anyway?
I don't know where that in like a lion, out like a lamb. I don't know where that is. That
Yeah,
I think it's some church thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a good week. We'll get to my Marvel double feature binge watch here in a moment. I finished the Archie Batman 66 comic series.
Yeah?
Got issues 5 and 6, so the series was complete. It was fine. It was charming. It was a good little story. Didn't add very much. I wasn't looking for Macbeth, but it was good. It was funny.
Apparently it comes from some sort of folklore, by the way. I'm not going any further than that. I feel very Cliff Clavin. I'm going to stop. Ivan, what about you? What's going on?
Well, I had a extraordinary record release party at the Electric Jungle on the other night, and it was like the most amazing thing. Yeah, this happened Saturday night. I was I'll tell you guys a short story of it. Okay, I was with Julie. We were at a place called the Fullerton over on Fullerton and Western, and just eating. And then this guy comes in, and we started a little small talk, and then it led to like music and stuff. And he tells me, "Oh yeah, well I used to have this band in 1966. It was called From." And I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." So we talked more about it, and then we talked about the old rock and roll garage rock music scene and such. And it led to exchange of information and such, and me making a phone call to Chris Gilbert over at Alona's Dreams Records, which that's one of his specialties, is to release these wonderful hidden nuggets from all of these studios, from all of these records, these recordings, bringing these one-off bands, back to life. So I, called him, and I gave him the ball, and he ran with it, and here it is 3 months later. I'm looking at the single right up here on my desk. The band is called From, and Chase Me Up a Rhubarb Tree is the top side, 82569. And this release was Chicago garage punk fuzz screamer, from late 1966. And with the package, which comes from Alana's Dream, it's got an information card in it. It's got an exact replica of the 45 that was released in their first issue of Just 100 Records. So it was happening again. All the members showed up, their families, their friends. It was the most wonderfully blessed event. And, John Seba and Allison Tiak and everybody that was around and about in the shop. It was, thank you so much again for, doing what you do as you always do. So, yeah. And, that all started from a conversation. So I went from a conversation to this beautiful record over here. And I'm like, wow, I feel proud.
That's cool. So what kind of music do they do?
They do rock music, like garage.
Like Nirvana garage rock, or?
Here, can I play just a little nibble of it, see if it comes over?
It's not gonna sound good, Ivan, otherwise we probably would, but.
Okay, well then.
But yeah. Let's do this.
Huh?
Let's do this. Can you, when you get a chance, can we put it, well, I'll talk to Mike about this too, since he's sitting right here.
Yeah.
When we get a chance, let's put something up on the Facebook page.
Okay, cool. All right.
That way, because that fangled technology, it gets in the way apparently. So
I see what you're saying. Okay, cool. Knocks me out.
No, it doesn't. I hope it doesn't knock you out. We still have a lot of show to do.
Yeah, so that was one of the highlights of the weekend, and I did the Layback Lounge over at Logan Arcade.
How'd that go?
Oh, that was wonderful. I mean, it was a lot of new faces, a lot of old faces returning, and I did a little bit more talking than I usually do in the set, because usually I go in and I just go in guns blazing, one record after the other, but I just wanted to try something with the room, so I started going into some gentle patter into some of the records, okay, just like, Jay Andres would do on WGN in the late night show he used to have many years ago. So, yeah, so I started doing that, and it was really something. I mean, everybody seemed to like it very, very much. So, yeah, so I might make that a more personal experience on that first Sunday of the month, which, by the way, I do the Layback Lounge first Sunday of the month at Logan Arcade, 2410 West Fullerton in Chicago. And then I also do a third Sunday, which is the Sweet Soulful Sunday, which I reach way deep into the box and bring out, hidden treasures and things.
Right.
Otis Redding, let me see, Claudine Clark, Gladys Knight, with and without her pips. All this different type of really soulful, groovy music from late 50s, 60s, and early 70s. So, yeah,
did you hear about what Gladys Knight recently did? Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't. What?
So I don't know if you heard about this show called The Masked Singer.
Oh, I did hear about that show, yeah.
So she was one of them.
Really?
Yeah, she was one of them. You need to check it out. You can find some of her clips on Facebook. She's doing like more modern sound, and it's interesting. As a matter of fact, there's a real good interview that she was saying like 12 hours after she got done doing the show, she had all kinds of calls and all kinds of stuff. But
well, that's great.
Yeah, there was you'd find that show interesting because they had the second place winner was actually Donny Osmond.
Okay.
And the thing is that they're dressed up in these outfits. Mike, did you see this at all? Or you probably saw it in the football commercials, right?
I have family members who watched The Masked Singer.
Have you? Okay.
So I learned vicariously through them.
Okay. I gotta be honest with you, there's a lot that they need to work on with that show, but it's enough that you're like, okay, I'm willing to watch just to see, who might be under there. The problem is, once, you start getting the clues, the internet kind of figures everything out. So really in reality, by the late weeks, it was like everybody kind of knew who everybody was. And they had pre-recorded all of the show so that really in reality, really in reality what ends up happening is like the show's pre-recorded and they're all shocked, and sometimes some of the guesses they were making are kind of wacky, but yeah, I mean, I think, who else did they have on the show? They had LaToya Jackson, they had Ricky Lake, Antonio Brown, who was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Terry Bradshaw, but like the final three were T-Pain won the whole thing, which was surprising because T-Pain really sung amazingly well. And he's dressed up like a monster. And then second place was Donny Osmond dressed up like a peacock. And then you gotta see some of these costumes, they're crazy. And then third place was Gladys Knight dressed up like a bee.
Wow.
But you should check it out. It was interesting.
Okay, well, I'll do that. I'll surf the net and see what I can see. It sounds like fun.
It kind of was. Like I said, the problem is it's like it takes too long for them to get to, to reveal because it's like
the unmaskings.
Yeah, it's like once a week, and you're like, the problem becomes, especially now, because they put it for a second season, and I'm like, how are you going to hide all this now? When nobody knew that there was a show going on, maybe you could pull this off, okay? But now with people who like watch the show and it's like a success, good luck.
Yeah, and these people who have to be carted in and out of the studio.
Yeah.
And these episodes aren't live, are they?
The episodes weren't live.
Okay.
Now I'm curious what they're going to do in the future. That was the one complaint I had was, quite frankly, is it's like, okay, the audience votes that's there, so we have no action with the show other than, okay, people, like, I think, Mike, you saw a couple times where I put on that I was watching it, and, like,
yeah.
It was amazing, because I get people, like, all of a sudden I get people going, like, on my feed going, well, I think so-and-so's this, or no, you got that wrong, it's this person, and I'm like, there were enough people watching it, so, I mean, it definitely had it, and God bless Nick Cannon for landing on his feet, after whatever happened with America's Got Talent. So, he's found himself a new place. And the judge panel's kind of amusing, too, because they've got some people who are fun. They got Jenny McCarthy and Ken Jeong and Robin Thicke, the guy who does Blurred Lines, and then Nicole Scherzinger, who used to be with the Pussycat Dolls. And then they'll bring in some people as guests once in a while. So, as guest judges, supposedly. But, yeah, it was interesting. Like Tori Spelling was one of them, I think. What's her name? Rumor Willis, who was on Empire, who's got an amazing voice. Bruce and Demi's kid is really, really talented, by the way. FYI. She's got some serious singing chops. And she was on there too. But yeah, it's I don't know, Mike. I don't know how they're gonna do this.
It'll be shrouded in secrecy.
Well, good luck, because there's this thing called the internet, and they don't take secrecy lightly.
Oh, something will leak out there.
Fox will just have to up their game, that's all.
Yeah.
Then meanwhile, ABC is done doing the American Idol thing again.
Yeah.
And that just seems to continue to just decline in interest overall by everyone.
I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I think personally, I thought it outlived its usefulness. I say several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I told you my goddaughter was on American Idol, right?
Yeah, you said she was once. Yeah.
Yeah, 2014.
Does a tryout at a Disney World count? Because I did it.
No, I don't think it does.
Well, it was those people. They just had like an exhibit, just like the same as if you were going to do the real thing.
She did the real thing.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
She did the real thing. I saw the clip finally a little while ago where she's in there with J-Lo, and I'm like, I really want to be like, J-Lo? Really?
Wow, that's great.
Damn. Talk to J-Lo. Get your butt over there.
Well, at least I got to the third part, but I guess it was my appearance they weren't into. So
yeah, I missed Simon.
Huh?
I lost interest when Simon left.
I can see that. In fairness, I think Ivan would be better off for The Voice. And then I guess so would I.
Well, thank you.
I think we'd all be better off for The Voice. We're not exactly the American Idol type.
Yeah,
You'd all be best for the Masked Singers because we have faces for radio.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, exactly.
What the allure of the Masked Singer is which famous person is under the mask.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. So once this podcast takes off in a couple of years, we'll be when we're nationwide and Joe Rogan will be stealing links from us to talk about, and then maybe we'll go on the Masked Singer. One of us, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
We can't talk about sex robots there.
Yeah.
We can't talk about sex robots. I'm pretty sure of that one.
Well, if you were going to be on the Masked Singer, what animal would you be?
What would you dress up as?
Oh,
yeah.
Gosh. That's a good question, Mike. You got one?
I think we need to decide, like, we can't pick our own costume.
But if you could.
As the Masked Singer.
Yes.
I think Jeff would be a giraffe.
You think so?
Yeah.
I was thinking dragon.
There you go.
There you go.
I was
All right.
Maybe occasionally get a little pyrotechnic, get a little fire.
Get the hot fire
shooting out of the snout.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it backfires, and then I die, and then I'm an air.
And the stage curtains catch fire, and that's all she wrote.
People run out of the theater, and some assholes playing "Go Go Godzilla."
Godzilla's not a dragon.
Well, I know he's not a dragon, but he's a monster.
Yeah.
It's almost the same thing.
What would Ivan be? What creature would Ivan dress up as?
What do you think?
That's a good question.
I think I'm thinking like a Joe Cool kind of cat, like a Heathcliff kind of cat.
I was gonna say, can we make him Snoopy?
Nah. Something a little more rugged, though.
Something a little more rugged?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking panda for Ivan.
A panda. There you go.
I can do a panda.
Panda bear.
Yeah.
Panda.
Or as Julie affectionately calls him, an owl. He could be an owl.
Oh, there you go. Then we do the owl.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's that meme where the owl is hiding behind a tree saying, "Oh, here comes that kid asking fucking lollipop questions."
That's great.
Yeah.
You got to post that.
For me, it'd probably be like I did a costume about 12 years ago of just one of those like cheesy 1950s sci-fi robots.
Okay.
Just cardboard wrapped in tinfoil.
See, that'll be the question, because they're going to start running out of animals.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
But then again, a monster isn't an animal, so I guess they could go a whole lot of ways with this.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and speaking of dragons, this news broke, I guess, if you want to, this breaking news story was listed just after we finished recording last week, that the final season of Game of Thrones is being commemorated with an exclusive Oreo cookie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's like the special pattern on the cookie end of it. So I presume maybe different ones for every house or whatever.
I guess.
Maybe different flavors representing every house?
No, there's always only just one flavor, I think, for Oreos.
Oh,
no.
Oh, no, my friend. There are a lot of flavors for Oreos.
They have manipulated the flavor rainbow of those
They've
cookies.
changed the colors.
Oh, but they changed the flavors, too.
Okay.
I mean, I had a what was it? A strawberry milkshake Oreo. When I was over at Logan Arcade, somebody brought like a couple packages of the different flavors. One was apple pie, and the other one was, that other flavor. And I was just like, man,
that other flavor. Yep, that other flavor. I know that. Oh
yeah,
one.
That one. That was so good.
I know that other flavor.
Yeah, like I was driving through.
Yeah, it tasted like strawberry shake.
I had to work Sunday, so I was off on Saturday, so I was driving around out and about, and right enough drive past the Walgreens, they got the Girl Scouts selling those boxes.
Yeah, I got hit up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, they're working it. They're unloading their stock. In the front, they're everywhere. In front of the Walmart, in front of the drugstore.
Well, it's good to see that. It's good to see that that's still a thing, though. I mean, kudos to the Girl Scouts and all you ladies out there that do your groovy thing as far as like the scouting thing. Yeah. It's an honorable thing. It really is. It's good to see that there's still some interest in it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
I guess. But it's funny. You know how much Girl Scout cookies are now?
$5 a box.
$5. Jeez, we.
Well, it's adjusted for whatever is going on in the world, man.
I guess, but
it's become that kind of a place. It's really something.
My little dealer was very happy to get my $5 from me.
Did she smile at you and say thanks? I'm sure she did.
They're so evil too, because they're like, They give you like that little face, like, please, mister, won't you buy some for me? And you're like, oh.
They tug at the heartstrings, don't they?
Yeah.
That's part of the charm. That's why you go. It's like, it's a beautiful thing.
And then the mom is sitting there behind her the whole time with that look on her face, like, buy something for my kid. And you're like, oh. And I'll tell you what the worst one was. I walked through one and I'm like, well, I really don't have any cash. And they go, oh, we have a square.
Really? The Girl Scouts got a square reader now?
They had a square. Well, I don't know if the Girl Scouts did, but they had one. And I'm like,
wow.
Wow, they're going high tech.
Wow.
I thought I could do it.
Wipe and done. Wow.
I thought I got away because I'm like, oh, I don't have any cash. And they're like, no, we have a square. I'm like, no. Like, no.
She was gonna get that money from you some kind of way.
They're worse than your freaking crack dealer sometimes.
Yeah, but isn't it kind of a form of? I mean, everybody loves those cookies. What are in those cookies that set them apart from every other cookie in the world?
Yeah, well, fat people joke that there are dealers and they enable us. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Well, they say it's only once a year.
Yeah, until people buy extras and they're sitting around and they're like, hey, watch some of these. Oh, you guys suck.
I finished my first box of Thin Mints already, so I'm number 2.
Real fast about Oreos, I did find something from Thrillist.com. This claims it was updated. It was updated a year ago, so I know there's more flavors even than this, but they quote unquote ranked every flavor, and at that time there were 29 flavors.
Yep.
Anyone want to take a guess what they? Now, in fairness, I don't think that this was.
Well, they had a strawberry shaker or a strawberry something in one of their flavors.
They have here, I don't want to read through them all, but, it's funny. The one I was thinking about, they have one that's Peeps. Yikes.
Didn't they do a pumpkin spice one too?
Yeah, they have one of those. They have mint. What's interesting is, okay, so here are the top 5. We'll go from 5 to 1.
Okay.
Number 5 is my favorite, which is peanut butter.
Okay, yep.
Those are evil. I mean, that's like...
It's a crunchy Reese's cup, man.
Yep. It's like... It's like,
how can you resist it? It's a crunchy...
Is it the same consistency as like the peanut butter from a peanut butter cup?
No, it's more like a cream.
Okay. Or does it have that same kind of stiff creaminess to it?
It has it's kind of like having the regular Oreo, except it's a peanut butter cream instead of a,
the white
number
stuff.
Number 4 is golden birthday cake. Number 3 is red velvet.
Yeah, I know that's popular.
Number 2, I guess they're counting the little Oreo minis in those packages. And they claim number 1 is cinnamon bun. I don't agree with that one.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Let's see. What's the weirdest Oreo flavor? Caramel apple, blue, banana split, candy corn, Swedish fish? Really?
Yeah, they did it with Swedish fish for a while. I remember that.
Wow.
Here, now we have the 21 weirdest flavors you probably forgot existed or didn't want. Lemon twist, blueberry pie, banana split, candy corn. Why would anyone want candy? I like candy corn, but not in my Oreos. I don't know. Yellow nut?
That just seems sacrilegious.
Last year I had candy corn. I couldn't finish them all. They're just too sweet now.
Fruit punch Oreo? No.
Well, fruit punch, it's like dipping it.
They have one, they have a double-decker one they're calling Neapolitan. That I can get behind, because it's like, one is like strawberry cream and one is chocolate cream. They have limeade.
Ooh.
Why would anybody want limeade? Root beer float. Maybe.
I would try that one.
Maybe. Marshmallow crisp. They have one that's like Rice Krispie treat. Why would you just get a Rice Krispie treat?
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's exceeding to excess.
Filled cupcake. So in the middle, there's you would have like the filling like you get a Hostess. They have one that's like a creamsicle. Something called a fruity crisp. Candy cane. Berry burst ice cream. Chocolate strawberry. Oh wait, here, waffles and syrup. Hello, I'm good for this. I do that. Watermelon. I don't know,
man. Man, but yeah, I'm sure like the banana ones. Didn't that one line up with the Minions franchise?
Did it?
Did it? Yeah. Or
I thought they were all about banana.
That's right, banana. Banana.
Yeah. Anybody see any movies? Otherwise, I've got one for the week that I saw.
I saw Green Book.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah, it was good.
I played a Don Shirley on Sunday.
Did you? Okay. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I really enjoyed Green Book. There's a lot of people who seem to have the backlash thing going on, but I don't get it.
No, it's a good story.
Yeah.
And who knows? Obviously, there's been some, like everything, inspired by true events.
Right.
You gotta take with a grain of salt and how much really transpired. But it was still a good story. I enjoyed watching it, and I think both Viggo and Ali were worthy of the Oscar. But Ali won the Best Supporting Actor, and that's cool.
Yeah.
It was good. Aragorn did good.
Yeah.
As Tony the Lip.
Tony Lip.
Yep. Yeah, I played a couple of selections of Don Shirley in my set on Sunday. I played Freedom and I played Waterboy, which was from some of his single work and from some of his great album cuts. It's a great play. If you ever get an opportunity to hear some real Don Shirley, man, go for it. It is really it's a thinking man's music,
Okay.
And so it's got that kind of it commands that type of respect, that you guys sit still and just pay total attention to it.
Yeah. Now, because it won the Oscar, it's had a slight resurgence. Some theaters have put it back in the afterwards. I think it earned another like 6 or 7 million.
Yeah.
So that's good for them. Ivan, I think you'd enjoy this film. I think you should go see it.
I'm going to go see it.
Or
yeah.
I mean, I'll have to mentally take myself away from the facts and just kind of go in and see it for what it is.
Yeah.
So I'll do that, and then I can give a straightforward thing about it.
And there's some I don't know, whatever special effects they used to make it look like the actor was the one playing the piano so expertly. So those kudos to them. They did a good job with that. Or they CG rendered the head of the guy, I guess. Of the piano player.
Think he actually played the piano.
I don't know. We'll find. I could look into that, but
I
have to say it's probably obviously a couple of camera tricks. Obviously,
I am seeing an article here about how he became you're right. There might have been some camera tricks here or there. So
a couple of scenes.
You're probably right on that. I'm curious. I can't seem to find it, but I'm curious if there's been a spike in his music sales, like in iTunes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I would be interesting to know about that.
I see the orchestral soundtrack is available for download.
Right, but
there's no popular songs. There's no Don Shirley songs.
Right, but I mean, like, to literally, I'm sure there's been a spike a little bit in people like, oh, I want to hear some real Don Shirley. I'm sure that's been.
Well, I'm sure YouTube has presentations on that, and I'm sure there's, that type of a situation. Just get a link and pop it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that was so nice because I did an announcement before I put the record on and everything, and it was just like sitting there playing the record, and it's almost as though the room slowed down just a little bit. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll definitely want to see it, and I will give you my story on it when I see it.
All right.
Yeah.
Man, you made it sound so good. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
I did get a chance to see Fighting with My Family last week.
Okay.
And I think if you're not as versed of a wrestling fan, you'll enjoy it more than if you are a wrestling fan. I mean, when I say wrestling fan, like you're up on anything having to do within the last 5-6 years, and you know anything about the main character in this story. So it's based on a real life WWE superstar named Paige, who her family is a wrestling family, and originally both her and her brother tried out. Her brother did not make it, but she did, and so it's kind of a story about the family and how the brother handles it, how the family is, and how she goes on to become a WWE star. And this movie is produced with the WWE and The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Vince Vaughn is in this movie too. Doing
Who's he playing?
Yeah, playing one of the coaching roles. So I mean, he's probably, other than The Rock, he's probably the biggest name in the movie. The one thing I found interesting was I enjoyed the movie for what it was. At the same time, there's a lot of in-between stuff, the kind of stuff that usually Ivan's complaining about on a music movie that they're not showing. There was a lot in between that they don't show, where they make it seem like when they bring Paige up to the WWE that she was like this totally green rookie, if you know what I mean. And that's not really the case. There was a lot more to it before that. The other interesting thing to me was they created all new names and personas for some of the other women who she met in the WWE Farm League, which to me took away from things because I was curious who some of those were in reality, if you understand what I mean. Like, was one of them, say, Bayley, one of them, say, Sasha Banks, or Charlotte Flair, or something along those lines. Now, maybe they made up their own characters and their own backgrounds so that they could do that, but to me, it lost a couple things, like, in terms of that. Or I didn't really see any real, people who were part of NXT, which is their developmental. The only other wrestlers that they had in there were the Big Show and Sheamus, and they had one scene like that. And they showed a few like real clips from the WWE here and there. I would say to people who are going to see this, see it as a matinee, see it on $5 Tuesday, see it as a rental. I don't know that you want to pay $10 for this.
It sounds like a patchwork thing happening there. Did it just like go into like flashbacks and future times?
Or they just take more liberties with history?
They took more liberties with history.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I know for a fact that Paige was an NXT Women's Champion at one point, and there was a period there where she was doing matches, and they had where she was in front of crowds that were, a few thousand. Okay, so when they kind of get to one of the main sequences, they make it seem like she's kind of more fresh off the boat when she makes her WWE debut, and that's not That's not 100% correct. But again, if you don't know that, it doesn't mean anything. Like I said, it was fun. It's funny. They certainly have a movie where people will come to go see it. I'm positive it'll do well on DVD, on digital downloads. I think it'll be good, if you know what I mean. So I think that's where, I get the impression that they'll be fine on the numbers, if you know what I mean.
All right. So you're saying, now you're going to get mad at me, though, for saying this. It's a wrestling movie that's not for wrestling fans, much like Venom?
It's better than Venom. It's a lot better than Venom. And it's really funny you say that, because a friend of mine over the weekend I was hanging out with, and he was like, hey, I got a superhero movie we can watch. He goes, oh, yeah? I go, yeah, what movie you got? He goes, oh, I got Venom.
Click. Hello, Jeff. Hello, Jeff.
Well, I was already in the place. I'm like, let's find something else, shall we? I'm like, I'll watch it, but I'm going to make fun of it the entire time. So if you want to watch it legitimately on your own before I sit there and make fun of it all the time, you shouldn't watch it with me. But yeah, I was just like,
everybody's the same for it. I just don't even have an interest in wanting to see it.
no, you know what? My disdain is different than everybody else's. There's a lot of people. There are people who, and Mike's seen it, where people are on my feed and they'll make fun of me about it because they're like, look at what Venom did, and I'm like, a crappy movie. It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie, and they're like, I wasn't that bad. What? I eat your head.
It's just like Halle Berry's Catwoman. There's no connection with Batman.
Oh, God.
It's just like this Venom has no connection with Spidey. So
yeah, well,
like it's supposed to go.
The problem is I haven't seen that Catwoman movie enough to be, when I say enough, I mean like I've seen a sliver here or there, but never seen the whole thing.
Yeah, me too. I've only seen bits and pieces on cable.
Right, exactly.
I've seen it.
Exactly. So there's a part of me where I really want to go out on the limb and say, oh no, Catwoman was much better. But I can't do that. Yeah, no. I did see, but we did watch Umbrella Academy from Netflix, which is one of their new hot shows. And I only got to see there's 10 episodes, I only got to see the first 6, but gotta tell you, that was good. It's really good. It's from, one of the guys who created it is Gerald Way, who's the guy who is the lead singer of My Chemical Romance, and it's based on a Dark Horse comic. And like I said, 6 episodes in, I'm enjoying it. What it reminds me of a better version of Heroes. A much better version of Heroes.
I've heard mixed stuff about it, but I heard the playlist, like the music selection is good.
Yeah. Yes, the music is awesome in this. It is awesome in this show. They really do a great job picking music pieces, and it's nothing really obscure. And some of the times when they pick stuff, it's funny because you think you'd pick a lot of stuff that was similar to My Chemical Romance. That's not the case at all. They picked some real fun. They picked some good pieces. Like I said, the first 6 episodes. I haven't seen the last 4, but I'm looking forward to seeing them. So far, it's the best Netflix series I've seen.
Okay. Well, my interest is piqued. Yeah. Okay.
What have you been doing or watching or reading?
Oh my goodness! I mean,
aside from the record release party.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, besides the record release party, the way back, and then back over here, it was just we had the pop up, over at the arcade, which was really cool.
How's that been doing?
It's been doing really well, actually, and it's just been that type of a thing where people come in and they have the convenience of, oh my gosh, here's the records, let's check them out, which is a beautiful thing that kind of transpired from when all was said and done. But yeah, and we had Arunas. Okay, he went by some different DJ named Johnny Fest or something to that vernacular, and then we had King Tony, who laid down these solid rock steady ska vibes. Oh my goodness, they were wonderful. And then he did a release of his next 45 with the Chicago legend Chuck Bernard. So it's. Did I say Chuck Bernard or was that Ronaldo Domino? My mistake. Okay, so yes, and so it was just a really, really interesting last Wednesday night. So they just ripping and running in the music circles and just going from the next one gig to the next, and it's been groovy. And right now, before I went on the air, I was pulling for a Mardi Gras party we're having at the Electric Jungle tomorrow. So I'm pulling out all my New Orleans records. So
yeah, because we're recording the day before Fat Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Why you gotta call it fat? Maybe it's sensitive about that.
But yeah, So other than that, yeah, just family's doing all right, and Julie's doing great, and yeah, everything is okay. Can't complain.
So, Mike, where are we at on the Marvel watch?
Okay, last week I watched, not directly in consecutive order, or at least not back to back. I watched one the other night, one the other last night. I watched Thor and the Avengers. So Thor has always been like one of my favorite ones until like some of the later ones have come out. Like I really like the first Thor movie. And it shows like, Natalie Portman as Queen Amidala as Jane Foster. And I kind of liked her as it. What was the name? Darcy? Who's the name of that actress? Kat? I think her name is Kat. I think her name is Kat, like with a K. But anyway, as Darcy, the comic relief. Anthony Hopkins doing the opening narration for Thor. After not seeing this film in a few years, and now with Anthony Hopkins doing the opening narration for Thor, this kind of reminded me of Transformers 5, and that kind of gave me a kind of bummer to me.
Gentlemen, I'll be right back.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah, but I still get the feels when Odin casts him out when he starts the war with the frost giants, and I cast you out, and I was, just goes to show like Anthony's still, he's got those chops. Still got the laughs when he walks into the pet stop and he goes, "I need a horse." That's my favorite. First appearance of Clint Barton.
Yep.
Who plays a big role later on.
Which will be Hawkeye for those not aware.
Yep. I'm surprised because I don't know if it was just like Loki's relation with the casket, because when he freezes a Heimdall at the gate, and then he eventually breaks free and saves, but anyway. But we don't see much more of Loki using his frost giant powers. Not that he knew he had them. I think the casket awakened those, like, when the frost giant grabbed him and his skin turned blue, he didn't know what happened. He didn't realize he was, a frost giant. But he never used any more of that freeze giant stuff. So.
No, you're right. He didn't.
Yeah. And I like the final battle with the destroyer in the town, and just when his friends are walking down Main Street and the guy's like, "Call it in. We got Xena and hey, Jackie Chan," and I like that. And then of course setting a stage for the Avengers, and the Avengers. That's Joss Whedon's signature, man. If anyone's going to remember what Joss Whedon does, I think that's going to be it. Is just him setting a stage for this Avengers film. And seeing the Tony Stark eye roll and the Steve Rogers, I understood that reference, which is now a meme, which was not, because memes didn't like that, didn't exist back in 2011, 2012. What else? I have my notes here. Cap's suit was kind of a downgrade. I liked what they did with the suit in his first movie. We know he had a lot of the leather and the pouches and the jacket and the flights and the helmet and such, but his outfit just comes off as just dumb in the Avengers movie. That's the only thing that pulls me out of it for the Avengers movie, but it's just solid, man. Just very expertly crafted action superhero epic film. And one thing I forgot was when Nick Fury throws Coulson's bloodied cards on the table, and Nick starts that line that was used in the Infinity War trailer saying, "There was an idea."
Yeah.
To bring together a remarkable group of people. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, that has so much more weight now when he says it. Like, it was just like a monologue back then, but now it's like, it was a big deal. And then the whole, like, exchange between Tony, Bruce, and Steve, when they're like, if S.H.I.E.L.D. was using the Tesseract for power, why didn't they go to Tony? Because the arc reactor technology is all about power. So when they kind of figured out that there's a hidden agenda here with S.H.I.E.L.D. I like that little scene. And, of course, the Tony's gantry FX shot when he just lands on his tower and just the gantry follows him as he walks. His armor's coming off. I just love that shot. Let's see, what else? The puny god, I'm a god, and just throws him around like ragdoll, puny god. Yeah. Of course, that'll come back later. And it's like, I know, like, the next movie I see is Iron Man 3. And Iron Man 3 was pretty much Iron Man and War Machine show.
Yeah.
So I was like, I guess maybe because after Iron Man 2, War Machine was getting outfitted, and they were upgrading, removing all the hammer tech, like the fizzled ex-wife missile that didn't do shit. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's what Rhodey was doing during the events of the Avengers, is that he was over at Edwards Air Force Base in California. I think it's where they were based out of. And he was getting the War Machine suit set up. And of course, we'll see more for Rhodey, obviously, and the rest of them, but I think they just wanted to focus on these characters, and I think they did it right by leaving War Machine out of it for the Avengers.
Well, like I said, they brought in quite a few people after that.
Yeah, it was a big ensemble show, and it worked. I mean, it worked so well. Like, it wasn't so much as an origin film, but not all superheroes films, some have to be an origin film to be good. And, of course, the post-credit scene for the Avengers was the Chitauri commander, and we get a profile shot of some guy, and some people thought he was a Skrull, but nope, that's Thanos. Yep.
And then there's the other scene at the end about the shawarma.
Yeah, the shawarma, yeah, and I noticed, now we know that Chris Evans was growing a beard for another role, so he had to hide the beard with his fist as he just sitting in the chair. This kind of came from an improv thing. Like, I guess Robert Downey Jr. was improving, afterwards, like the end of the final battle or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, and he just came up with shawarma, and they just decided to just throw that in as just an afterthought. So, but yeah, the Avengers was good, but it's kind of in the middle of the road for me now, because of so many great. I want to say better, but in my opinion, but this was a really good film.
It's funny because it's getting run quite a bit lately on both the Turner stations, and I think USA has access to it too. So it's been on a few times, and Avengers holds up. I did catch over the weekend. FX was running Winter Soldier, and boy, does that movie hold up.
Oh, yeah. That's probably in my top 5.
Yeah, that movie holds up really, really well. It's really still a really great movie to watch, and I enjoy it. I will tell you that I'm positive if there are people who are listening and you saying that this is the one thing that Joss Whedon will be remembered for, I will tell you right now, I know Whedon fans who will fight you up to the death. especially when it comes to things like Firefly and Buffy.
Oh, of course, Firefly. Well, see, you know what? I guess I gotta trade in my sci-fi nerd card because I've never watched Firefly.
You know, I've only watched a few episodes. And the funny part is that there aren't. I think there's only one season, and then there's the movie, and that's it, right? I think that's it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, really in reality, but there's a lot of people who are like, oh my god, I wish we could get Firefly. You know, I'll be honest, I was more of a Buffy Angel person, although I bought the comics for the season 8 comic, and that's, you know, I was there until, I was going to keep buying some of those comics until Joss basically made it where basically, Buffy and Angel destroy the universe because they're the entire universe because they're having sex. And the funny part is because I've got the paperback, the trade paperback. Josh even has a note at the end. He's like, "Yeah, I think we went too far. We had to reset everything." I'm like, "No, really? Thanks for making me pay all that money for all those trades, though." For this whack-ass story that at the end, I'm like, really? Seriously? This is the left turn you're going to go for? This is what we've been leading to? In fairness, his X-Men book is really... His run on Astonishing X-Men is phenomenal, by the way. Joss Whedon. So... But, so what's next? Is Winter Soldier next for you, or no?
No. I got 2 more before Winter Soldier. I've got... probably in my bottom 3 is Thor 2 and Iron Man 3.
Yeah. I know people who swear by Iron Man 3, but I'm not one of them.
No. But you see, when I watched Iron Man 2, it was better than I remember. So hopefully it might have that kind of effect when I see Iron Man 3.
A friend of mine and I have gotten into it about Iron Man 3. What he likes about Iron Man 3 is that it's Tony Stark having to show that there's more than just the man in the armor and that he can do things beyond that.
And it's not just about his... Well, like in the second one, they kind of played on his alcoholism, but being the palladium poisoning from his arc reactor. So in the third one, it's more of him kind of like... PTSD from almost dying in the Chitauri attack.
Right. So that's...
I'm looking forward to hopefully changing my mind about those 2. But, of course, I'll try and get them both in this week because Friday is Captain Marvel. And, in fact, as we're recording right now, is the Hollywood premiere is going on right now. So I want to see it. I'm going to see it Friday. And then if it's good... I might see it again on a Sunday matinee. But otherwise, I will get Iron Man 3 and Thor, The Dark World. Or is it? Yeah, it's The Dark World. Before next week's show.
Yeah. Boy, I don't... Can I tell you, it's been a really long time since we've had a Marvel movie now.
What was it since August? We had Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, there's Ant-Man and Wasp, but it's a long time.
Well, we did have a Marvel movie when we had that Venom.
Oh, God.
Technically, it is a Marvel movie.
Yeah, I'm going to come eat your head. God, that movie is horrible.
We know your opinions on it. But,
yeah, no.
but the box office seems to say otherwise.
Yeah. Why is it that the box office seems to say otherwise and everybody points that out when I do that? And when I talk about Suicide Squad being good and point to the box office, everybody's like, no, Jeff, it was bad. Box office said otherwise. They didn't have an Oscar. But, nope. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not as hyped about it as you are. I feel like this promotion for Captain Marvel isn't pointed at me. If you know what I mean.
There seems to be a lot of hype around the movie.
Well, yeah, they've been pulling all their stops for this press tour with Bree and Samuel. They've been all over the world. So
I just feel like
so what's your initial thought on that, though?
I'm fine with it. But the problem is that just the fans. Some of the fans are just feeling, I don't know, whether it be male fans that are threatened by or a woman being Captain Marvel or a woman superhero having the center stage right now. But you know what? Last year was the first year in a Marvel Cinematic Universe film that a woman superhero got top billing. And obviously that now that the Black Widow movie's been greenlit, I think it sounds like the same fans who are making a big stink about The Last Jedi.
Or Black Panther.
Or Black Panther last year.
Yeah, well,
it's like
I will say this. As one of the people who made us think about Last Jedi, the difference is I did it after I saw the movie and I didn't think it was any good.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like Black Panther was great and it's a phenomenal movie. I don't know about Captain Marvel. I will hold judgment until I see it.
That's right.
There's something about what I'm seeing that I'm just not feeling it at the moment. It doesn't mean I'm not excited to see it. Maybe it's because I really there's a part of me where I'm like, can I just get the Avengers movie instead, please? I mean, I'm kind of there. I'm kind of like, all right, let's do this.
We want Endgame, and now after Endgame, I guess there was an article that posted that Marvel is not going to release any more titles until after Endgame.
Right, until after Endgame is launched.
Yeah.
With the exception of the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. We know that one's
Sony. But they're saying, they're talking about, somebody pointed out, like, after the Spider-Man Homecoming movie, or, whatever the heck the second Spider-Man movie is that's coming out from Marvel, that Marvel itself is not released, does not have another release date again for almost a year. Like a year real time. So it's like, there's going to be some stuff in between, like the Sony stuff.
Well, who knows? We might only get like 2 films in 2020.
Right. Well, as long as we're talking about this, because that X-Men trailer came out for Dark Phoenix, and I gotta be honest, that looks great.
It looks better than X3. That's all I got to say about it.
It looks great. I'm interested. I'm interested, and I would like to see it, and I'm good with that. I hope they put it out to theaters. I think people will want to see it. Along those veins, I hope they renew The Gifted, and that doesn't end up being a casualty of the Fox Disney deal, because the finale for the season finale was great, and I don't know if the ratings have been there, but I've really enjoyed season 2 of The Gifted. It's been much better than season 1, and really it might be one of the better network superhero shows out there right now. So that's just me. But yeah, I don't know. So when are you going to see Captain Marvel? Are you seeing it Friday night?
Friday night.
Friday night. Okay.
Cool.
I got 6, me and 5 of my buddies.
That's the way to do it.
Bought half a row. And I'll probably have to buy at least 6 or 7 for when the ticket sales drop for Endgame.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
That should be coming soon.
Oh my gosh, that is going to be. Getting tickets for Endgame could be.
I might have to, for the first time, bring tissues to a superhero movie.
Okay. Maybe. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
You see, Marvel was it either yesterday or today? Marvel released a bunch of Endgame posters, and it's just like the superheroes' helmets inside skulls, or skulls inside their helmets. Oh man, it looks pretty cryptic.
Yeah.
Pretty dark.
Yeah, it's dark, man.
Very dark.
Yeah. So, with the Infinity Gauntlet holding the head, I think. I just caught a glimpse of him on it. But anyway, so yeah, Captain Marvel is Friday. So, booyah! Can't wait.
Booyah!
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, this is where we see if this year's box office takes off. But yeah, I liked what I saw from Dark Phoenix. I hope they give that an opportunity to do what it needs to do, and we'll see. We'll see if they let that happen and they do what we need to do, or we're gonna.
Did they announce this is the final season for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
And Coulson is truly dead now.
I have no idea. I haven't been
so.
watching that show.
I don't know. He's dead. Obviously, he died in the Avengers, and that was the big emotional moment, and I didn't have that because Coulson, we know Coulson comes back to be in, something
like
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
There were a couple other things of note this past week we can talk about.
Some news? All right, bring it on.
I'm curious because you're a toy guy. Have you? But I don't think McFarlane's done anything with Transformers, has he?
I think he tried to do some kind of combining creature or something, but no. And isn't he the one making those Fortnite figures?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
All right. Hooray. Good for him.
Well, the other big news with him is, because when I saw this headline, I was very, very excited until I found out it was toys. Which is, it said, here's the headline from Newsarama. Todd McFarlane pulls back the curtain on landmark deal with DC. And I got a picture of Batman and Spawn, and I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, what? Yes. They got McFarlane to do some art for DC. Maybe they're going to get him to write something. This is going to be great. Sooner or later, I had a feeling they were going to try to pull him back in. No, he's just doing the toys. And don't get me wrong, that's really cool. But as somebody who honestly doesn't have a place to put these things and wants to get laid sometime soon, I would much rather he, be doing a cover here or there or something. But yeah,
no, it's just a toy deal because Mattel's really dropping the ball with these DC Universe figures. They're garbage.
Are they?
Yeah, so that's why like Hasbro is really knocking out of the park with the Marvel Legends. I mean, the head sculpts, the paint, the articulation. I mean, they're great. We got so many releases this year, and with them doing the Studio Series, actually, not Studio Series, but the Marvel Studios 10th anniversary. Actually, just last night, I was messing with the Avengers Iron Man, which was the one-off. That's one of my favorite Iron Man armors. Was the Mark 7 that was in the Avengers film. I know I did like the Mark 6 after Iron Man 2 with the triangular unibeam, because once he creates the new element to prevent as a substitute for planium, that was the whole when he created the particle accelerator in his house. But anyway. But yeah, the Mark 7 is one of my favorite armors. And like I said, Hasbro's knocking out of the park with the Marvel Legends. And the DC figures, there's no good DC figures, except for maybe Mezco or Hot Toys, but that's not whatever. So yeah, we get this toy deal with McFarlane. McFarlane's toy company is making DC figures, and I suppose to be good. Maybe they're going to make a cheap alternative to Hot Toys, because Hot Toys figures can run at $250 and up. Like some of the Iron Man armors are up to like $470. I think they made one to scale from the Hulkbuster from Age of Ultron, which runs like $1,200.
Wow.
It has like 30 LEDs in it. Like, yeah, it'd be cool, but yeah, I've got, not that big an Iron Man fan to have a $1,200 Iron Man armor.
I could go on a trip.
There's a lot more I could do for $1,200 than buy an Iron Man armor. But anyway,
I can make it rain a lot for $1,200.
Yeah. And in other toy news, it is sad news that the founder and former president of Takara has passed away.
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah. Yasuta Sato. Now he was. The thing is that they explained this on this documentary series I've plugged many times here on the show called "The Toys That Made Us." Takara licensed the G.I. Joe body from Hasbro, and then they made it kind of like gave him, because so soldier toys were not very popular in Japan because they were on the losing end of a war. So they weren't selling. So they made him kind of a robotic figure, and then that's where this Microman was born. And Microman was a direct predecessor to Transformers. So, yeah, the founder of Takara has passed away. And Takara has always been, I think, from the beginning, when a couple of Hasbro guys went to the 1983 Toy Fair in Japan, and they saw Takara with all these micro-change and Diaclone figures. They brought him over to the States, and they got a comic book writer, Bob Budiansky, to write the fiction, and that's where Transformers was born. So,
very cool.
So rest in peace, Sato-sama.
Yeah, we have some more rest in peace, but I'll get to it a little bit later.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught the other thing, which is apparently Will Smith will not be back for Suicide Squad 2.
Okay.
So that's a no. That's not happening. I don't know if they'll recast Deadshot or how that's going to work. But I thought that was interesting. I did like him in it, so that's a little disappointing, but looks like they're going to go another direction with that.
He's too busy filming Aladdin 2.
You think so?
No.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. Hey, we'll reserve judgment. Like I say, we're going to reserve judgment for when I see Aladdin.
Well, I know I saw something about a release date for that a sequel to that Bright movie that came out on Netflix that did well. That I don't know. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great.
Oh, do you see this? Speaking of Netflix, you see this whole shit that Spielberg's pulling?
I didn't catch all that. What's the deal?
Spielberg is on the board of governors for the Oscars.
Uh-huh.
And he is trying to implement the rules where streaming films will not be eligible for Oscars next year.
Okay.
But the thing is that Netflix did follow. They did make that loophole where they Roma was shown in maybe a couple dozen theaters across the country.
Yeah.
So it did have a theatrical release,
Right.
but people of the theater enjoying their films on the big screen amidst a bunch of strangers, hopefully not with crying kids. Spielberg wants to nix the whole streaming movies being eligible for Oscars because they're intended to be shown on the big screen, not the small television.
Yeah, but you know what? I agree with him.
Okay.
I agree with him because you know what? To me,
so you're saying Roma should have won an Emmy instead?
Yeah, I kind of do, and the reason I'm saying it is because what happens to if you start doing stuff like this, what happens to movie theaters? I mean,
don't you have to break down the structure of the motion picture?
They
said the same thing when VHS tapes came out.
Yeah, that's true,
Right.
but we're getting close enough to us. We're in a society where people don't want to go anywhere anyway. Anywhere. And that's not to say that that's not the case and people won't go, but there is something to be said to me about I didn't like what was done with Roma. And I mentioned this before. I didn't like the fact that it was, okay, let's just do this limited release and now Netflix is going to have this. It's not like, here's the deal. It's not like I can go and get it on demand or anything like that. No, I got to go buy Netflix to get it. There was no way for me to watch. Let me rephrase that. I take it back. There was at one point, movie theaters had it when they were doing their big, huge, here's all the best picture movies you could buy to go see them all in one sitting thing. But otherwise, unless you saw it in the theater, you weren't going to get access to it. And to me, that to me ruins the spirit of it all. In my opinion, and that's me. But I shouldn't be able to not be able to see one of the nominees for Best Picture because well, I don't feel like paying for Netflix or Amazon or whatever else the next is going to be.
But one monthly fee from Netflix is still cheaper than one movie ticket.
It's close. It's close.
Still less, but close.
Right, yeah.
Close, but still less.
Yeah.
Unless you see a matinee. There's some theaters that do like you said, you do your $5 Tuesday or whatever.
Right, exactly. Well, and
matinees and such.
Mm-hmm.
Right. To me, and here's the thing. This is where, all the conversations where you've got all these people who were slamming these big tent comic book movies and sci-fi things like Star Wars and stuff like that. This is where, quite frankly, I don't know. It's going to be interesting because, a lot of those movies that used to be the types of movies that we're talking about, it looks like they're going to places like streaming or they're turning into series or stuff like that. There's just a part of me where it rubbed me the wrong way, but I'm sitting there going, okay, well maybe I'll go see a bunch of the Oscar winners. Oh, I can't see Roma. I have to pay for Netflix. I don't want to give them my money. I want to go to the movie theater and go watch the goddamn movie.
Well, I got Roma playing down the street from my house right now.
Well, there you go.
All right.
You see, because it won a bunch of awards. Otherwise, it would not have been so popular again. Just like Green Book. They're bringing it back because it won some Oscars. I know there's some theaters they're still running Bohemian Rhapsody.
Mm-hmm. In my neck of the woods, Green Book had never left. I'll tell you that right now. Green Book has been there all along.
There you go.
So it's been there since
it survived the onslaught of the big Christmas tentpoles. Yeah,
it did. It stuck around in this area for a while. And again, that's out by Skokie, Evanston, that direction. Yeah, Green Book never really left the theaters here. It stayed. But I don't know. I think that Spielberg sort of has a point. Although ironically, he's the first one to be complaining about all these superhero movies and all that stuff. Although he finally didn't he just decide he's doing some superhero? Isn't he doing like Challengers of the Unknown or something? He's working on for.
I'm not sure what he's up to in that regard.
I could have swore that's. Hold on, I'm gonna check and see.
Here's the awards for motion pictures. Should be for just that, motion pictures.
It's a movie, but just wasn't. Didn't get a widescreen theatrical release.
Right. I'm just saying that. Streaming motion picture, though, I feel should be acknowledged, but I think in their own special category.
Obviously, when the TV networks make their movies and put them on their networks, that made it a made-for-TV movie, and then made it eligible for an Emmy. But this is a movie streaming service that happens to be on the Internet. There's no brick-and-mortar place that says this is the Netflix theater. So it's not like even Netflix owns their own theater. It's just a streaming service. I understand the argument for both sides, but I think it comes to a point where we're splitting hairs on either end.
I see what you mean. Thanks for elucidating me.
All right, what is
It's Black Hawk.
Black Hawk? Okay.
Yeah, the Black Hawk. The Blackhawks from the 1940s. That's what they're looking at from DC that they're going to do. But I don't have an official date or anything like that because he's in the middle of doing a couple things. I know one of them is remaking West Side Story and the other is Indiana Jones 5. So, I'm good for Black Hawk, but I'm also good for the other two.
Movie-wise, I'm sitting here thinking, I hope I get to see. I hope I get to see the Wynton Marsalis jazz movie that's going to be coming up. And I hope that doesn't meet the same fate as the Oliver, the Laurel and Hardy movie. Which
I wanted to see that, Stan and Laurel.
Yeah, I wanted to see that, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
and every day we were showing it, it was like, hundreds of miles away. I'm like, dang,
I'd be surprised because being in the city and there's so many theaters in Chicago that even like one was running it. But no.
I didn't understand that. Was that a bit of marketing happening there, where people in the suburbs were more prone to accept the movie more than some people here in the city? I'm like, what was up with that? You know, so I just hope that the Start of Jazz, gets a lot better run than they did, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that one. I wish. I think they just got lost in
Stan and Ollie. Yeah. What theater was that out on? Came out on. It was Sony Classics was the distributor for it, and it's only made like $5 million.
Oh, only 5.
Wow. It came out late December, so it was lost in the shovel with between Mary Poppins and Bumblebee and Aquaman. But it was just a really limited run. So I'll definitely.
I have to wait till it comes out in the media so I can get it.
I'll definitely check it out when it comes out on DVD.
Hey, Mike, I'm looking at an article that you posted to the Facebook page. I think Ivan will find interesting about U.S. fans throw more money at vinyl and CDs than iTunes downloads.
Yeah, a lot of the other streaming services for music have taken over Apple. A lot of younger people, they're turning away from their Apple products.
Well, when you have services like Pandora and other such services where they can pretty much cater to your listening habit, and you can build it, and it's your own groovy thing.
And it just goes to show that we've talked about this many times here before, that the younger generation, they want that tangible media. They want to hold a CD or an album.
Right, exactly, and it just it seems to be growing, and just so much of it, is just so good. I mean, they got the list for Record Store Day already out there in the internet. I mean, there's a few things there. I mean, I'm not a fan of RSD, but I mean, if that's your groovy thing, well, then that's cool. Well, go ahead and enjoy it, but don't do the hoard and turn, because that's not a very nice thing to do, especially when people are looking for certain albums in certain situations, and then you get people that go into stores and they hoard everything, all the Record Store Day stuff, and then next thing you know, they around and they're selling it on eBay for like a markup of 300%. You're like, damn, man.
Yeah, here's might as well here. Let's have a look through here, because this article dropped only like a couple days ago of the Record Store Day 2019 reveals list of titles including exclusives. Prince, Anderson, Paak, Pearl Jam, Mastodon. Prince will get 2 releases this year: His Majesty's Pop Life, The Purple Mix Club, and let's see what else.
Is that the one on purple vinyl?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, we'll see a vinyl release and the sought-after rare cassette for the Versace Experience. Prelude to Gold will be released commercially for the first time after it was given out at the 1995 Paris Fashion Week show. And there are a slew of covers and collaborations on sale during Record Store Day. Red Hot Chili Peppers members Chad Smith and Josh Klinghoffer have teamed up to cover 2 T-Rex songs, Jeepster and Monolith.
Okay. That's exciting.
There will be a slew of 3-inch vinyl releases.
Yeah, I think it was the brainchild of Jack White over at Third Man Press.
Yeah.
I actually have a player that actually plays those 2. It's really kind of cute.
Including a bunch from Third Man Records with music by the White Stripes, the Raconteurs, the Dead Weather, and Jack White solo. Others who will have releases include Steve Earle, Pink Floyd, Elton John, Joe Strummer, U2, Gorillaz, The Stones, Devo, Aretha Franklin, Charlie Parker. Yeah, here's another full list of the artists. The RecordStoreDay.com releases, and the list just wow, what?
Yeah,
wow!
It blows the mind. There's so much stuff.
There's hundreds.
Yeah, yep.
How can one record store carry all freaking 400 different all these releases?
Okay, the Record Store Day thing goes like this. Okay, The stores themselves are not involved in the picking process. It comes as a pack,
Ugh.
and whatever is in the pack is what you get.
Ugh.
Okay, so basically you have no idea of what's inside the boxes or any of it. It's just cold pack. Pop it open, you look it through. It could pertain to your store. It could be in the discount bin in a few weeks, but it's just...
So, yeah, it's all, you know, it seems like artificially inflated demand.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, it's just a corporate man's way of saying, okay, we got to have our fingers in this water too. You know?
It seems like they're pulling a McRib.
Thank you.
McRib.
So it's, you know, so that's why, you know, you get a lot of people, oh, RSD, great. But, you know, you have to look at it from the side of the brick and mortar stores. We have to deal with those type of sensibilities. And not everybody wants to be on board if you want to be individualistic in the business. You know what I mean? So It's like, and then, like I said, then the Horde and Turners, they buy all the stuff up, then they jack everything up when they get it on eBay or SD or Discogs or whatever number of places that, you know, they do this kind of work. But it's like, people, you know, by doing that, you're killing off the very business you're buying from, you know? So something to think about.
I will say this. I think it's interesting to me that this includes CDs are going up, but this doesn't shock me. I think one of the things that I always feared in some ways about buying downloads from iTunes or something like that is, okay, if you don't save it or it corrupts, guess what? You're out. You gotta have to buy another one. Versus I buy a CD, I have a tangible product that I can rip the CD and put it into my computer, and I can pull from it anytime I want.
Right.
To me, I always found that to be a lot safer, but that's me.
No, but I mean, you know, we all have our way that we do our thing, you know. But you know, and it surprises me, you know, just how, you know, I never would have thought, you know, back in our lifetime, you know, later in our lifetimes, that this would still be a relevant thing, you know, vinyls and, you know, and like, you know, and you get people that are releasing cassettes again, you know, and some people doing productions on VHS. It's like, to that organic end, you know. And there's something about it. It's just like the difference between live television and, say, film. It's kind of like that. So, it's amazing how, you know, the vinyl never really truly went away, but
No.
it evolved. You know, went underground for a while, it evolved, and then just came back. Never was gone, but it's just lovely to see everybody just digging it as they are now. And it's kind of cool when, you know, I can go someplace and I can still play a 45 or two and make someone smile and make somebody feel good. You know, because the internet has helped out with the acknowledgement of so much stuff to young people. Yeah. So, and that's beautiful. And I'm ingratiated with the, you know, opportunity to do my little part, you know. Like I'm sure a lot of disc jockeys out there are doing just that, their little part for the record business, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, like I said, I mean, we you know, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but we've talked about how, to me, I didn't think vinyl was ever really, really going to be gone because, you know, with increasing rap and hip hop culture making it to the mainstream, I at some point, this doesn't shock me, you know.
Yeah.
That doesn't shock me, but I'm not shocked by it.
Yeah, okay, I see your point. You know, and it's because with the hip hop and the house cultures, you know, basically that part of the record business never really stopped, you know, producing anything. It always kept right on going, just for that, you know, for those people who put those, you know, sounds together, those mixes together, you know, laid everything out on vinyl, you know, Frankie Knuckles and, you know, the score of other talented people behind their trade, you know, and it's, you know, so, but now, you know, you get these people now today that they just, you know, they go into everything, they dabble in everything. And, it's great to watch. It's great to watch, you know. But yeah, records, I don't know. Will these records still be around? Probably for a very long time. Some things just never fade away, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, it like I said, we'll see. I'm kind of curious because I think there's two markets now. There's the back in the day when people kept all their records, and you've got those types of collections and collectors, and you've got people who, with the new production of stuff that, you know, there's those people who are looking for that, for what's new and out there. And I think that, I don't know that they're the same people.
Yeah, I miss those days from like 10 years ago where I could go to a flea market and buy like a box of 45s from somebody for like $5. And now anyone who's got vinyl, they'll take it to a flea market and they think they have gold nuggets.
Oh boy, yeah. We've been down that road before.
Yes, we have.
Oh man. So, you know, with the whole, okay, I mean, it's got to be worth something. No, not something that you've had like that's common. You know, like you get these people there. Elvis Presley, it's the best Elvis, most complete Elvis Presley. I said, yeah, but it's everything that's already like out in the billions that you can get everywhere else. See that?
Speaking of Elvis, I was listening to another podcast last week, and I just found out that Frank Welker, who is the voice, obviously the famous voice of Fred from Scooby-Doo, and he's just done a phenomenal amount of voices over the years. I guess there was one scene in Girls, Girls, Girls where Frank does like a dog and cat fight each other kind of thing.
Whoa.
So I did not know that Frank Welker was in an Elvis Presley movie, and I guess he would sometimes, like Elvis would go, "Hey man, do that dog cat thing for me, man," and you just you know. I did not know that. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike Boyle.
Mike, you're talking about that the new Scooby-Doo animated movie that's coming out. Is that what you're talking about?
No, just talking. Well, obviously the guy who's been the voice of Freddy for like 40 years, Frank Welker, and he's done so many voices for so many movies over the years.
Right.
You know, he's just prolific. He's like the Mel Blanc of our time.
Well, the irony is he's going to do Scooby-Doo again.
Yeah.
Because there's an announcement that came out from Hollywood Reporter that I guess Warner is making a new animated Scooby-Doo movie, and it's funny. Maybe they listen to the podcast because my understanding is the way that this story is they're talking about that it will take place in it'll be a mystery within the Hanna-Barbera universe. So, supposedly one of the characters that's been cast for this movie so far, what I've seen, is Captain Caveman.
Mel Blanc was Captain Caveman.
Well, apparently now it's going to be Tracy Morgan.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Tracy Morgan is going to be the voice of Captain Caveman.
Yeah. I could see that. I could kind of see it if you're going in a new direction. They've got Gina Rodriguez from Jane the Virgin. Will Forte is playing Shaggy. And I guess they're bringing in Frank Welker to do Scooby-Doo.
He'll be Freddy again.
I don't know. I don't see a listing for.
Interesting.
Actually, it's funny. They don't picture Freddy, so maybe he's doing Freddy too. But it's and apparently they have to save the universe from Dick Dastardly. And I guess this time the threat is really real, and they're looking at a release of May 2020. So it's funny though. The irony is apparently Matthew Lillard was not happy about it because nobody told him he's not going to be playing Shaggy anymore.
Okay.
Dude, it's not your role.
It was
So
Casey. But Casey can't come back from the dead and be the voice of Shaggy anymore.
Actually, that would be really cool.
Something about that would not be right.
Yeah.
If they used old clips from Casey Kasem and have Casey Kasem be a zombie who came back from the dead.
And he was the voice of Robin in the old Super Friends.
Yes, he was. Holy stinkies, Batman! Whatever the hell you say. Yeah, I don't know if you caught. So Ryan Reynolds did a thing on his Twitter account. I don't know, and I put it to the Facebook page about John Candy. I guess it's 25 years since John Candy died.
Wow.
Well,
what was your favorite role for John Candy, Jeff?
That's rough. I really do like him in who's Harry Crumb.
Yeah, I liked him in it.
I really like that movie for some strange reason, and I think he does a really great job in it, and it's unfortunate there was never that's a fun movie.
There's some great lines in that Harry Crumb. Like he holds up the ransom note, and you find that crazy typewriter. You got your I like that. Mine would probably have to be no, not Spaceballs as Barf. Although he's close though. He's in my top 3. But I liked him in Stripes.
Yeah, I was gonna go there too.
Yeah.
The scene where the mud wrestling scene is probably one of the the mud wrestling scene. That's all I have to.
That's all you got to say.
For people who've seen the movie, they know exactly what I'm talking about. As a kid, yes, you're sitting there going, yes, I need to see that scene.
What about you, Ivan? What was your favorite John Candy role?
Uncle Buck, he said.
Uncle Buck. All right.
Yep, like Uncle Buck and Canadian Bacon.
I never did see Canadian Bacon.
Neither did I.
Check it out.
I think that was his last movie too, right? Is that the last one?
No, I think maybe it was. He did a serious role with I forget who it was, but it was called Only the Lonely, where he was
with Margaret somebody was the actress. She was a very famous actress.
Margaret somebody, the famous actress.
Yeah, that one.
No, the last name is me, Margaret O'Sullivan, maybe, but it was just a really
good. The name escapes me too. I was gonna say Catherine O'Hara, but she was too young.
You mean Maureen O'Hara, right? Is that what you're...
That's right. Yes, there you go.
I know it was.
Right. It's Maureen O'Hara, Ali Sheedy, John Candy, and Anthony Quinn is in that movie, and so apparently is Jim Belushi.
Remember Anthony
Quinn was the next door neighbor that was enamored with Maureen O'Hara.
Remember Anthony Quinn was Zeus on the old Hercules show with Kevin Sorbo.
Right. Well, I didn't realize this. Both of the Culkin brothers were in Only the Lonely. Both of them. Macaulay and
it was a great movie. I actually saw that in a theater when I saw it.
Yeah, no, it's a good movie. No question. It's funny because Ryan Reynolds did this kind of like a music video kind of thing tribute.
Yeah. And
you forget all of the movies and all the stuff he did. Just for example, I may have to revise my favorite movie of Harry Crumb because I totally forgot he does the one story in Heavy Metal where he's dead.
He was in Heavy Metal?
Yes, he's the one story in the middle about the kid who turns into the big guy who looks like a
super buff,
super buff guy, and he's the one who's where he's what happens if I don't? She dies, he dies, everybody dies. But seems reasonable to me.
I'll never forget. I can't see that film now, except through the filter of the South Park episodes. You are not allowed to touch my daughter's awesome pubage.
Yeah, I forgot about that. He's just like, for example, I forgot he was in the Blues Brothers.
Oh, yeah, Orange Whip.
Yep.
Three Orange Whips.
Yep.
My father's friend actually saw them when they did that stunt on Route 12 up by near me, where the cop car lands on the tractor trailer semi.
Oh, yeah, and then John Candy kind of looks up and
We're in the
grabs
truck.
Yeah. It's almost like he broke up there for a second, and then he went through the line.
Yeah, my dad's friend saw that stunt happen, where the car landed, on the truck, on trailer. But anyway, yeah, John Candy did so many awesome roles. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Was he up for the Oscar for Planes and Automobiles?
I think so.
I think
so with Steve Martin, right?
it was I think it was Oscar nominated. I think.
Hold on, I
Jeff.
Yeah, I happen to have a time to open up the talking about, ironically enough.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm looking now. He had 12 Primetime Emmy Awards.
Wow.
Nominations, 4 wins. I'm looking to see about the Academy Awards.
Primetime Emmy, were those for SCTV?
Hold on. Yeah.
I presume the Emmys were for when he was on SCTV.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they were for SCTV.
Yeah.
I do not see an Oscar nomination. I don't see an Oscar nomination here at all. I do see a Cable Ace Award as a nominee. I see something called Gemini Awards. He won he was nominated for a Razzie in Nothing But Trouble. That movie is bad.
Oh God, that was that one with Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, and Demi Moore.
Oh my God, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, how do you screw that up? Jeez, really? What are you doing? Yeah, I don't see anything here about him winning an Oscar, Ivan. Sorry. Or being nominated for something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. He's got some clunkers, but really in reality, I mean, this is the kind of list that you sit there and you go, boy, if I had a movie career, that's the kind of list I want. I mean, just going through it off the top of my head, I'm like, I'm just like looking at this. It's like, you forget things like Brewster's Millions, Flash.
Oh yeah, he had a supporting role in Flash with a very young Tom Hanks.
Yeah, 1941, he was in.
Oh, that's right. He was in the tank at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, the battle.
We mentioned Trains, Planes, Automobiles, Great Outdoors, Uncle Buck. He's in Home Alone because he's the Polka King. That's Quincy. Yeah, I mean, even as because his last movie was released was 95. 93 was a good year for him. He had Rookie of the Year movie and Cool Runnings. Both were good. Were good releases for him. I even forgot he's in JFK.
That's right.
I had totally spaced. I did not remember he's in JFK. But yeah, the
old boy got around, man.
Yeah, and it's funny because Second City released something today too. About the irrefutable life lessons we learned from John Candy movies. And it is interesting about loyalty, staying young at heart, and when he trolled some of these different roles. But yeah, it's amazing because there's a name that sometimes we all forget about, and we shouldn't because he
even had a cartoon too, Camp Candy.
Yeah, he had that too. But yeah, there are a lot of people who'd kill for that career. So, there you go.
Thank you, Mr. Candy.
The only other thing I've got is, and I just feel like, by the time this gets on air, it'll die down. But boy, I don't know about you, Mike, but Luke Perry.
Yeah.
It was very sad.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that's like 6 years older than I am. I'm like, holy crap, really?
6 years younger than me.
I'm guessing neither one of you will really kind of watch 90210 or no.
No, it wasn't my thing back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Nah.
Right. That seems like more me with you guys. Yeah, I mean, he's got a few other things. Like, for example, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The movie was with Perry, and it's interesting because there's stories about that where they rushed production because they wanted to get it out to capitalize on 90210 mania that was happening at that time frame. But really, in reality, I think that's one of the reasons why, later on, Joss Whedon was able to go on and go make the Buffy TV show. So, that's an example of where, he did something and, well, you get the idea. I almost feel like watching The Fifth Element again because I forgot he was in that too.
I've only seen The Fifth Element in like bits and pieces. I never watched it from start to finish.
The Fifth Element. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I've seen like most of it, but somehow I never make it to the end. I don't know why that is, but.
Fifth Element's the movie that, like, if I'm up at 2 a.m. and I suddenly find it, I have to watch the whole thing. It's that kind of movie for me. I don't know why. It's one of my cult classic favorites, and I get that way about it. It's funny because I'm losing HBO at the end of the week, but I swear I have to watch Ready Player One at least one more time because I feel like that's my new, like, oh my God, Ready Player One, gotta watch it. But for a long time it's been Fifth Element. Fifth Element to me is vastly underrated. Vastly underrated as a movie, and it has the greatest president in the history of the world, which is Tiny Lister. Tiny Lister is a better version of Trump.
That Macho Camacho Mountain Dew from Idiocracy?
Well, it's like he'll sit there and he'll start going, Major Dallas, it is an honor to be talking to you on the phone. It's like, just get the phone. There's a giant ball of fire in the comment. Chris Tucker's phenomenal in that movie too.
Yeah, the scenes with him I've seen. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, he dials it to 11.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He basically channels his inner prince.
And I liked him in the movies with Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those.
I heard that they might be doing another one.
Rush Hour, right?
Yeah, Rush Hour.
Yeah.
But Bruce Willis is great in that movie. That's a great, and that's really Mila Jovovich or whatever it is. That's like kind of a breakout movie for her too. But yeah, I enjoy that movie. That's one of my favorites. But I'm curious to see what'll happen with Riverdale because
what they're gonna do with Luke Perry's character.
Yeah, I'm curious what they're going to do about Archie's dad, Fred Andrews, because that's with Perry. So, it's interesting because really in reality there were a couple different generations with his death that were kind of like, oh, this sucks. Because it was like parents and their kids. So kind of crazy. And I heard that their production has been shut down in the meantime. So we'll see where that goes. But,
yeah, right on the precipice of the reboot of 90210.
Yeah, that too. It'll be interesting because they were talking about he wasn't necessarily going to be on it. Well, now they got a real easy way to fix that problem.
Yeah. Well, they said he was only going to agreed. They hadn't signed on to anything, but because of his Riverdale schedule, he would have only had a couple of walk-on roles.
Right.
Couple of cameos for that season.
Right. Now it'll be interesting to see
how they're going to write it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they handle it.
Yeah.
Because you can go a lot of directions now. But and it's funny. I'm in. I'll watch this new 90210. I'm curious. If they're smart, they'll use the Riverdale model, which is use the older actors, bring in kids. maybe their kids, if you know what I mean, and then build out from there so that you can do a new thing with it. But because I know CW tried to do it a while back, and they sort of brought a couple of the originals back, and then they really kind of went away from that entirely, and it didn't last real long. But I don't think that they'll use any of that at all. So.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, but I'm like I said, that'll be interesting to see because you're right. The timing is really interesting because it's like, yeah, they were just talking about that they're going to do 6 episodes in the summer of this 90210 revival, and I'm curious to see what direction it takes now.
Yeah. So. And they say when you have a stroke at a younger age, it's going to be much more severe. My sister, had she not been at the hospital because she had high blood pressure just after giving birth to one of my nieces, obviously, but had she not been in a hospital, she probably would have died when she had her stroke. So this helps bring awareness to that regard. Mm-hmm. That'd be a good thing too, especially like when something happens to a celebrity, it brings awareness. When it happens to Joe, anybody off the street, it doesn't get as much attention. So hopefully this will help raise awareness and hopefully save some lives in the long run.
Yeah, it's funny. I was looking at some of the Twitter feed, and there's Dr. Oz. We'll talk about today the warning signs in case, God forbid, about a massive stroke. And I'm like, really?
Well, it's the news of the day.
Yeah, but way to
segue into that.
Yeah, way to try to steal audience with that, huh? I guess I don't.
Well, that's what shows are about.
Yeah.
Media, it's all about the sensationalism.
Well, it's raising awareness, hopefully saving lives.
Well, gentlemen, I think it might be time.
I think you might be right.
I think it would be right.
Oh man!
We teased this story last week because we were running out of time, so I'm going to start with it.
Okay.
Which is that a man gets millions of air travel miles from pudding cups.
Pudding cups.
Yep, pudding cups.
The lids must be lined with gold or something.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, this one is from Snopes, and they fact-checked this, so it's true. Oh. I will kind of go through this. So he really did rack up frequent flyer miles as described by the widely circulated email, and yes, he did really purchase 12,150 cups of Healthy Choice chocolate pudding and then donated them to the Salvation Army and 2 food banks, earning himself an additional tax deduction for the whole scheme.
Wow.
His name is David Phillips. He's a civil engineer from UC Davis. He became a cult hero in the obsessive subculture of people who collect frequent flyer miles by converting $3,150 worth of pudding into 1.2 miles. And he's getting an $815 tax write-off.
Pudding.
So here's the deal. Apparently, there was a deal that was out there with Healthy Choice that he could earn 500 miles for every 10 universal product codes, UPCs, the barcodes from Healthy Choice products he sent by the company by December 31st. And any Healthy Choice barcodes mailed by the end of the month would rack up double mileage or 1,000 miles for 10 labels. I started to do the math and I realized it was a great deal. I wanted to take my family to Europe this summer, and this could be the way. Frozen entrees were about $2 a piece, but a few miles away, Phelps found cans of Healthy Choice soups for 90 cents a piece. He filled his cart with them and then headed to his local grocery outlet, a warehouse-style discount store. Then he hit the mother load. They had servings of chocolate pudding for 25 cents a piece.
You don't get any miles if you don't eat your pudding.
Yeah. So apparently he cleaned out the entire store, bought every last cup in the warehouse, and then asked the address for all the other grocery outlets in the area with his mother-in-law running shotgun in the van, and spent the weekend scouring the shelves on every store from Davis to Fresno.
Wow.
Purchasing over 12,000 cups. The problem he had was that he was earning to get double miles. The deadline was approaching, and there was no way he was going to be able to tear off all the barcodes. So he went to the Salvation Army and was willing to trucked all the pudding to the 2 local food banks and the Salvation Army, which they all agreed to tear off the barcodes in exchange for the food donation. So he was able to get over 1 million miles in his American Airlines account.
Wow.
That reminds me of a... Go ahead, Jeff.
But I'm sorry, this is really long. The pudding guy now has an advanced gold status for life, entitling him to special reservations number, priority boarding, upgrades, and bonus miles.
Whoa.
They talked to him on the phone, and if you noticed by now, he's really good at math. He figured out the scheme netted him enough miles for 31 round-trip coach tickets to Europe, or 42 tickets to Hawaii, or 21 tickets to Australia, or 50 tickets to anywhere in the U.S. He won 31 trips to Europe for a little over $3,000. That's about $100 a ticket.
Wow.
It's not bad.
And
not bad at all.
He's the only one who came up with this.
Well, this is the example of where, you do the math, but it's funny. Apparently, he didn't donate all his stash. He kept about 100 servings for himself, and he just about finished them. He said, actually, I really like this stuff.
This reminds me of a story about a guy who took like a $100 off coupon for a new car purchase out of a newspaper. He grabbed like hundreds of newspapers and took all these $100 off coupons to the dealership to try and get a free car, because the coupons didn't say any limit per customer. I don't know if and then he tried to sue, because obviously the car dealership wasn't going to give him a free car with a bunch of coupons that he got from the newspaper.
Oh.
They tried to look past that loophole.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. What do you? I know we've got from our special correspondent.
Yes, our listener Scott. We thank him dearly for all these awesome news stories. It's hard for me to choose. I'll start with this one here from, cheater. I guess a man was cheating on his wife. A man and his mistress were stripped and tied to a tree after the wife catches them together.
Oh, my goodness.
When men are caught cheating, their significant other typically breaks up with them, but the scorned partner sometimes finds a unique way to punish them as well. Well, one woman in China went to extremes when she caught her husband and his mistress by publicly shaming them. According to Chinese media, she somehow was able to strip her cheating man and his side chick and then tie them to a tree in the middle of their town in southern China.
Wow.
It created such a scene
Man.
that police had to be sent out to help with the situation. Authorities took everyone into custody and have been launched an investigation into the incident, which they say was caused by, quote, an excessive reaction to emotional disputes, which is true. And there's a clip on YouTube, but obviously it's been mosaicked or blurred or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Tied him to a tree and
like an Asian woman.
Hell hath no fury.
I got to say, because I'm fascinated. There's two of them. There's one of her out of that. How did she get them?
How'd you get them both?
Yeah.
Stripped naked and tied to a tree in public.
Right.
Maybe she had a knife in her hand or something. Maybe she kind of coerced them in there.
Maybe they handcuffed him. I don't know.
You gotta cut it off.
No, that's a bobbit. I don't. Yeah, see, I still think this is better than bobbitization. Bobbitization is always the death penalty.
John Wayne Bobbitt.
Yeah. You know what? I have a theory. I have a theory how this happened. Because men are dumb, and we're dumb that way. She might have come home, and she might have been like, oh, yeah, I totally want to do a threesome. I got this idea. Let's go out to the tree. I always wanted to do it.
Obviously, his mindset isn't as fast as yours.
You know, I could see a guy falling for that, where they might be like, all right, this is all work out. All right, she wants to do it by the tree. That's fine. Oh, you want to climb me up? Oh, okay. I can see this. I can see this going. I can see all of it. We're dumb enough. Yeah. What do you think, Ivan? You think you fall for it if someone told you, okay, we can have a threesome?
Ivan wouldn't be caught cheating because he's a man of virtue.
I do have my virtues.
That's right.
Now, 30 years ago, that's another story. But but as far as now, nah, not so much.
All right. Well, on to the next. Just in case you want to see it, you can watch a dildo on a airport conveyor belt. You can see it on the Facebook page. By the way, no one.
What?
No one's playing.
Yeah, we talked about this last week.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember it was a last week thing. But
We caught it. I talked about it at the very end.
Oh, did we? It came out one hole and went into another.
Yeah. No one's claimed it. They're all just staring at it. Like, who's going to grab it?
Like, yep.
Which one of you guys are brave?
Poor lady.
Really funny.
I know it belonged to somebody, but nobody was going to go ahead and claim it.
It is funny how it moves as it's moving.
Yeah.
It's like it's waving to us.
Yeah. It's crowded. Everybody's got the same thought, which is either one of two things. Who's coming up to pick this up?
Oh, shit.
So, anyway, next story. 19 million of cocaine found in pineapple shipment in Savannah, Florida. And Savannah in a port, which is Georgia, not Florida, sorry. More than 1,000 pounds of cocaine were found hidden in a shipment of fresh pineapples. In November, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection said field operations officers working at the port encountered a shipment from Cartagena, Colombia. Upon physical inspection, they found 450 packages of cocaine, estimated at about 19 million plus.
That's a lot of blow.
That's a lot of pineapple.
Oh, yeah. Depending if you like pineapple.
Who hides their coconut pineapple under the sea?
Yeah, SpongeBob pants. It explains why he sees all the pretty colors in the rainbow. Here's the real question. Why a pineapple? Why would you hide it in the pineapple?
Well, pineapples, depending on where you harvest them, they're really big fruit.
Yeah.
Because you could get a lot into one of those pineapples. But what baffles me is, how did they get it into the pineapple and put together to make it look like it was never tampered with?
Right, that's what I mean. Why would you, unless the packages of the pineapple were such, well, I'm looking at it here, there are boxes in there, the tops are open. How would you,
maybe you have, like, toothpicks or something?
I don't know. They don't tell us.
Maybe if they're in the boxes, maybe they put a layer of pineapples on the bottom, the crap in the middle, and then they just put pineapples on top of it.
They say they were hidden in the pineapples.
Well, wasn't
it? Isn't that what the article said?
Yeah, fruit, they found 450 hidden packages of cocaine. But the way they're writing this, it could be what you're saying. They could be in between.
Could have been underneath the pineapples.
It could have been underneath.
Yeah, I'm thinking, that sounds a lot more logical.
Yeah, because
in order to try to put it in a pineapple, you would have to dissect it and do whatever the hell you need to do with it and put it back together. It's like a lot of work.
I could see them like coring a pineapple, putting it inside, and then putting the core back on top.
Come on over here. You need to cornhole these pineapples.
There's no. They didn't blame it on the dead rat.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that story back from a while back. What do you got, Mike?
Well, seeing as we're still on the subject of food, here's an article from a couple of days ago. People are throwing cheese at babies, and social media won't stop enjoying it.
14 in the morning.
There's a new internet craze sweeping social media, and it's leaving many people scratching their heads, especially the babies at the butt of this odd joke. Parents, relatives, friends, and anyone with an infant in range have started flinging slices of cheese in their toddlers' faces.
Why?
One of the first, or at least the most popular, culprits of this new cheesing prank was posted on February 28th by Twitter user Unchlimes. I don't know, I'm not even going to spell it. No, it's Uncle Holmes with an X instead of an O. His video has since been taken off of social media, but the 6-second clip shared all over the internet was reportedly viewed over 10 million times before the user took it down. The viral sensation captured the Twitter user tossing a slice of yellow cheese right into his baby brother's face, sticking to the infant's cheek as he looks up in disbelief at his brother's daring misdeed. Since then, the cheesing craze has caught fire, with pint-sized victims being ambushed with cheese across the country. So now there's these links here from the article. This is from CBS New York's website. So now I guess apparently the cheese tossers aren't the only ones who can't get enough of this new fad. Dozens of videos are posted on social media as are racking up tens of thousands of likes and shares from people just as amused by sticking dairy slices on an infant's head. At least it's not like the Tide Pod challenge. It's not.
Well, okay,
I don't know.
Yes, please. Why is anybody doing that?
Because
people are crazy.
People are
crazy.
Yeah.
Why did people get out of their car and do the Kiki challenge? What was that all about? Dummy, get back in your freaking car. What are you, crazy?
Oh, yeah, when they were getting out of their cars when the car was in motion. Yeah. That is utterly stupid.
Just because you saw it in a video, there's a reason it's in a video. They have that car on remote, dummy.
Ivan,
Yeah.
you ever thrown cheese at your daughter?
Never.
Okay, good.
So wait, was it an
That's
adult?
so stupid. I mean,
Now
why
adults
would
are doing it. It wasn't just like a baby brother throwing in cheese. It was a spontaneous event that the parent happened to be recording. Now it's adults throwing cheese slices at their kids' faces.
That's ridiculous. Oh, come on.
That's like that old story Bob Saget told. I don't know if you've ever heard this one. Bob Saget talked about like some of the videos that they rejected back in the early days of America's Funniest Home Videos, and there's one where it's a steaming hot bowl of oatmeal, and you can literally see some adult pull the high chair from behind so that the kid's face goes straight into the steaming hot bowl of oatmeal. It's like, what are you doing?
That's first-degree burns, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The cheese thing,
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, like, at first when you're sitting there saying, okay, a little kid can do it, another little kid, okay, fine. But now people are doing it to their little kids.
Seriously, folks, come on,
Anything to get those likes and shares.
Turn your fucking brain on, live a life, put the phone down.
I can understand I'm not understand, but I can see why. I can't understand doing it, but I mean, people trying to win that prize, because that's what America's Funniest Home Videos was winning that prize money. And now just people doing it because they want to get that like button. Like, come on, people.
Or I think the only thing I've heard, which was amusing, and I will admit it watching this, was back when Howard Stern still had his show on the E! Channel at night. There were these two girls that apparently either I can't remember what they wanted, but they wanted to be on the show, and they wanted something. And so, in order to be on the show, they had them in thongs, and they slathered their butt with mayonnaise and threw bologna at it. And you had to hit the butt with the bologna and make it stick.
Well, let me see. Then, of course, there was Howard Stern's fabulous butt bongo sessions.
Yeah, there's that, too.
What a guy.
So, next story. So you may have heard about this story initially. It's a two-parter here. So initially there was a man in South Carolina who saw some girls selling Girl Scout cookies, and it was really, really, really cold outside. And so he went and he bought some Girl Scout cookies. Then he came back and he's like, I don't want you to be cold. So he went back and he bought like the whole thing of all their Girl Scout cookies so they could go home and not be stuck in the cold. And I don't know if you remember this because it became like a big viral thing. Right? Does anybody remember this? He bought here it is. He bought $540 worth of cookies so the girls could get out of the cold, and it was shared here. Hold on, let me.
Yay! He's a hero, right?
Yeah. So there was a night in Greenville.
My prescriptions used to be really expensive.
And their prescriptions used to be expensive. It was a chilly night. Here's the first part of the story. It was a chilly night in Greenville, South Carolina, and these two girls were on cookie duty. A man approached. He bought 7 boxes of cookies and told them to keep the change. Then he went back to the table and said, pack up your cookies. I'm taking them all so you can get out of this cold. And he spent $540 on cookies. And it was about 34 degrees outside where they were at. And they were all, so this went very, very viral, and there's a picture of him and everything. Well, there's a second part to this story. The man was identified as Dick Lee McGowan, known as Fat. And Fat was arrested by the Federal Drug Enforcement Agency because he's wanted on 22 federal counts of smuggling heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl in the United States or Mexico. He's also accused of, with 3 others, of trying to smuggle more than $1 million of cash out of the country.
Nope, he got his just desserts.
Well, the point I'm getting at is, apparently federal authorities knew exactly who he was when this all went viral. I guess they'd been looking. I guess they'd been looking for him.
Oh wow!
So the moral of the story is, if you're a drug dealer and you do something nice for someone, like little girls, and get them out of the cold and buy $540 worth of cookies, don't take a picture. Don't let it go viral.
Wasn't very well thought out, now was it?
No. And of course, the Girl Scouts had no issue with statement. Nobody was hurt. Nobody was threatened. We had no reason to believe that this man was anything other than one of our valuable customers that is helping the Girl Scouts power awesomeness experiences through the Girl Scout cookie program. And of course, we will cooperate with authorities.
Well, at least it was a somewhat sincere thing.
Well, here's the real question. Was that money stuff that he had from drug money? Because technically they could come back and seize the $540 worth of cookie money.
You know what? You're right.
I'm never going to do that. That'd be bad. That'd be really bad.
That would not be a good thing, no.
No, that would be horrible. Mike, what do you got?
Well, another cookie story.
Okay.
And yay, it's from Florida. A Florida man was taken into custody after he allegedly threw a cookie at his girlfriend. Police were called into the couple's home. A woman who has not been identified told police that her boyfriend, age 41, his name is Wade Smith, he hit her in the head with a cookie and had left a red mark on her forehead. So Smith was admitted to the responding officers that he threw the cookie during an argument. He was taken to the Pasco County Jail in Land O'Lakes, where he is facing 1 charge of domestic battery, being held on $500 bond. Domestic battery with a cookie.
Oh my goodness!
Thank you, Florida. The hits keep coming from the great state of Florida.
Yeah.
You ever look, and there's this guy's mugshot. You ever look at a mugshot from an article, and it reminds you of somebody you know? I mean, this guy's got some stupid-ass face tattoos, but he looks like somebody I know.
Okay.
That ain't him, but I'm getting an echo on your side, Jeff.
What kind of cookie was she assaulted with?
Just as a hard cookie. And I'm getting an echo on your side, Jeff.
Oh, we're getting an echo again?
Yes,
okay.
we're getting an echo. We're getting an echo.
Is that better?
We're getting an echo.
We're getting more echo?
Hello?
No, it's on your end. When Ivan and I talk, we get an echo. Like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there an echo still?
No.
Still getting echo?
Yeah,
What?
No, kind of.
All right, let me pop out and I'll pop back. Better?
Next story, Jeff.
Okay, this one I think you guys might have seen around. This story's been around. This one's been on. In fairness, when I clipped it, not everybody had been talking about this one yet. But now it's been kind of out there, but we'll talk about it. This one is not from Florida. This one is from the great state of Tennessee, where a man has been accused of dipping his testicles in a customer's salsa.
Yeah.
The Tennessee man was jailed on a felony charges after appearing to dip his testicles in a container of salsa that a customer had ordered online.
Man.
The delivery driver allegedly recorded it and posted a video online saying this is what you get when you give an 89-cent tip for almost a 30-minute drive.
Well, that's just so wrong.
They report that 31-year-old Howard Matthew Webb was arrested last week and charged with adulteration of food. He remains behind bars until his May 12th hearing. His arrest warrant says they picked up the food for delivery from a Mexican restaurant, and the company has issued a refund for the tainted food. I can't defend it, but I can understand how someone would be that mad on an 89-cent tip for a 30-minute drive one way. How do you get your testicles in the?
I presume it's one of those plastic containers where you just pop the lid off, and then the guy would just kind of teabag it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's
you still got to get them inside because it's the round thing. You still got to get them in there. I mean,
maybe just put it right around his nuggets and just started spitting.
Yeah. I don't know.
The more I think about it, the less I want salsa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's chunky for the wrong reason.
I can't say I blame you there, Mike.
All right, what do you got, Mike? I'm noticing a theme this week that we seem to be food, glorious food.
I think I'm kind of off food news stories for a little bit here. We'll go to this one here.
Okay.
This is from natureknows.com. The latest trend is now cuddling with a cow. Ever thought of snuggling with a 1,000-pound farm animal to help with your mental health? No, neither have I. But if the sound of that intrigues you, you're in luck. Because as it turns out, cow cuddling might be the hottest new wellness trend.
Oh my God!
Seriously?
According to PubMed, which is PUBMED, there's proof that humans can decrease their stress levels by interacting with animals. Okay. But how one may choose to go about that is their own preference. While this concept in particular might sound a little strange, the new therapy trend falls in line with other programs we've seen in the past. Remember goat yoga or cat yoga or bunny yoga? While yoga with a cow might be a little tricky, cuddling with them might be the next best thing. Now the article shows like the cows sitting in the meadow and just like women, like a couple of girls like leaning up alongside of it. But Mountain Horse Farm in upstate New York has a program offering the horse and cow experience where individuals can spend time connecting with their large barnyard animals. And there's nothing dirty. It's just lying in the meadow with fully clothed people. You can interact with them however you want by petting, brushing, or playing. If you're not in the mood to play with the animals, you can simply cuddle with them. Cows have a body temperature that is slightly higher than humans, and their heart rate is lower than ours. So cuddling up with a cow, feeling that lower heart rate and higher body temperature is very relaxing.
I was fine until you talked about barnyard. And then every horrible German porno film I've ever heard of just popped into my brain.
Oh my goodness. I think I have heard some things in my life, man, but cuddling with your cow.
Mountain Horse Farms notes on their website that horses and cows in particular are sensitive animals who use body language to communicate. They will pick up on what's going on. They will pick up on what's going on inside and sense if you are happy, sad, feel lost, anxious, or excited. They will respond to that without judgment, ego, or agenda.
I bet they will sense when you're excited.
They say that hanging out with their animals can bring relaxation, healing, awareness, comfort, and mindfulness. It can also help with building assertiveness, confidence, and overcoming fear. Now, the horse and cow experience costs $300 for a 90-minute session.
Wow! It's bestiality with a price
No, it's softcore bestiality.
Okay, softcore bestiality with a price.
Fully clothed people.
This sounds utterly hysterical.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, we're about to beat a dead horse here, aren't we?
Well, I was going to milk it for all it's worth.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He's got the bull by the horns in that regard.
Oh, no, there's no horns because they're cows.
Yeah. If $300 is too high, you can book a 1 hour session for only $75. And you can bring a friend.
Bring a friend.
Bring a friend.
How much to suck the milk from the teat?
It's not listed on their website.
You know, it was fine until
you mean special pricing if we can milk the cow?
I'm sorry. I was fine until you...
My kids will keep the milk if we milk the cow.
I was fine until you read the one section about the barnyard thing, the horses, and then every dirty thought in my mind.
I was doing the same thing, Jeff.
Every story I've heard about horrible porn that you should never watch.
Cow cuddling.
Oh my God.
What else you got, Jeff?
I mean, although we got stories like this later on that are going to be ugly. So 2 people were arrested over a buffet brawl over crab legs. Not crabs, crab legs. Get your mind out of the gutter. Alabama police say a dispute over crab legs at a diner buffet ended in a brawl that left 2 people facing severe charges. The diners were using service tongs like fencing swords, and the plates were scattering, and a woman was beating a man. Not because the diners had been waiting in line for crab legs for more than 10 minutes, and they lost their tempers once the food came out. The station reports for Chiquita Jenkins is charged with assaulting John Chapman, who suffered a cut to the head. Chapman is charged with disorderly conduct. Court records aren't available to show whether each person has a lawyer or not. So apparently, there is video here, but I put money on the fact that there's no actual video. But witnesses say they were using the tongs like swords, and I want to see that. I want to see that.
There's something fishy going on there.
I'm looking at the guy. He's an older guy, and this woman is. And this woman, when you say a woman named Chiquita Jenkins, you can take a wild guess. I have no qualm. I have no doubt in my mind that this woman was beating him like a red-headed step mule because taking those tongs and beating the snot out of him.
She was out to whoop that ass. That's what that was.
Yeah. I will give them points for using the tongs. The question is, why didn't he use the plate as a shield? He could have used the other, or like one of the things that he could have used it as a shield to knock away the tongs. If you're really going to go there, let's go there.
Aren't most of those plates like China? I mean, you get them once a break, no?
Well, there were apparently some that shattered, so something must have happened. I don't know.
I think, using a plate as a shield. No, I think not.
I'm going to do this one more, and then we'll go back to Mike, because I know he's got one more, and then I got a couple after that. According to, I'm just going to mention this because I thought it sounded funny. Apparently, they have figured out how long it would take to resurface all the ice on all the ice on Lake Superior if you use the Zamboni.
Okay.
Anyone wish to hazard a guess?
Yeah, I saw the article, so I can't guess.
Ivan, want to take a guess?
I don't know. I'm not real good at this sort of thing. Sorry.
For one Zamboni to surface the entire surface
of Lake Superior.
How long would it take?
Yeah. Try 693 years.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That's a lot of time.
I wonder how, well. All right. So I wanted to get that out there. I just thought it was a fun fact. All right, Mike, what you got?
I got one more left from our loyal listener, Scott. Thank you for bringing these in. We appreciate it.
You're the guy.
It's great, awesome content. A Louisiana man in a gorilla suit breaks into someone's home and hides under their bed.
Okay, right.
Police in Louisiana had to deal with a bit of monkey business after a man wearing a gorilla costume broke into a home and hid under a mattress while fleeing from police.
Okay.
According to Sulphur Police Department, the town of Sulphur, officers received multiple reports from people seeing suspicious person looking into their homes while wearing an all-black costume. Police responded and spotted the subject, later identified as Jeremy Morin. Officers told the suspect to stop, but he ran into a residence through the front door. Officers set up a perimeter around the residence and determined that Moran never left. Sulphur police then said they entered and they found Moran hiding under a mattress. He was arrested and charged with simple resisting a police officer with force or violence, unauthorized entry of an inhabited dwelling, possession of methamphetamine. Oh, that makes sense.
There it is.
Flight from an officer and wearing a hoods or masks in public places. That's
sounds like it's full of bananas.
That's a bag of things there.
Wearing a hood or mask in public places is a violation in Louisiana?
Some places it is.
When police were asked about the subject's choice of clothing, a police spokeswoman said the only reason he would have opted for the costume was the possibility of the drugs he was using. So yeah, he's Louisiana state law states that a person convicted wearing a mask in public can be sentenced up to 3 years in prison.
Wow.
Wait, what do they do during Mardi Gras?
Yeah. Well, excuse me. Exceptions. It says here exceptions are made for religious purposes or holidays like Halloween or Mardi Gras.
Oh, okay. There we go. I was going to say, how the hell do you?
Yeah,
okay.
but
I was about to question that.
Let me reread that. Louisiana state law states that a person convicted wearing a mask in public can be sentenced to up to 3 years in prison.
Wow.
So I guess when the cop says take the mask off and you don't, then I guess they can arrest you.
You're resisting arrest.
No.
Oh, I get it. I get it. So, like, if you don't want to take the mask off because you don't want to reveal who you are, sure. I don't know. All right. Let me go. My turn.
That's all. Okay. That's more animal news. That's all the animal news, and I got so.
Okay. Well, it's going to be followed by a high school wrestling match was interrupted by a teen crashing through the ceiling.
What?
I have video of this, and I gotta tell you, it shouldn't be funny, but it's funny.
No, it's not funny, but it just, people just don't fall through a roof out of the clear blue sky, or do they?
Well, so, of course, this takes place in Florida. A 19-year-old in Gainesville, Florida is currently in a hospital with a back injury after he fell 40 feet through the gym skylight during a wrestling tournament At least the comment is at least he had padding. That's so wrong. The video shot by one of the parents at the event shows the aftermath of the fall, but you can hear the crash and the thud as the teen slammed to the mat. Correction to the fall is heard immediately in the video. Shit.
Wow.
Here's funny. They reference Shane McMahon. Unlike Shane McMahon and his crazy WWE dives, this teen does not mean to leave it all on the line for the sport of wrestling. Police say he was part of a group of at least 8 people who were messing around on the roof when somebody threw his phone onto a higher part of the roof. According to the Gainesville Sun, the teen, who has not yet been identified, walked across the skylight to retrieve the phone when it gave way, shattering and sending him into the gym.
Wow.
7 members of the group, 4 minors and 3 adults, 18 or over. All our 7 students are either at Buchholz or charter school in the area, have been charged with trespassing for the incident, and a school spokeswoman said there will be disciplinary action against them. You think, the comment is, you'd think that nearly shattering your spine like that would get you out of some sort of punishment. Apparently this guy is not so lucky.
Wow.
There is video of this. I am not able to watch the video, but they keep replaying him thudding onto the mat in a loop, and there's a part of me where continuing to watch it, I find it entertaining, and I don't know why.
It's because it's just the morbid curiosity of it. You know, you're just like,
oh no, it almost has a Looney Tune effect of the.
Exactly, you hear the coyote going down to the bottom of the valley and it explodes. Yeah.
Well, the other part is you see part of the skylight come down with him, so there's little pieces all over the place, and the people like getting out of the way from when it crashed. So there's part of that, but yeah, phones are expensive. I get it, but still cheap.
Wow.
Maybe not hang out with those friends, by the way, if they're gonna throw your phone onto the.
Yeah, especially if it's something that was going to give you impending danger and injury.
Okay. You got anything else, Mike, or am I keeping going here?
Nope, that is all for me.
That is all for you. All right. Well, then in that case, we should go to this story. Here's more about food, about things you don't want to know. So apparently, you've heard of the keto diet, right? You've heard about this?
Cheeto diet?
The keto diet? Okay, that's the new big fad diet. Well, there could be a side effect that you might need to be aware of. What they're calling the keto crotch.
Okay.
The keto diet is having a moment right now. Originally developed to treat epilepsy patients who were not responsive to traditional medicine, the trending low-carb diet aims to put the body in a state of ketosis, a state in which fat burns, not carbs. The keto diet isn't without its side effects. According to Lisa DeFazio, a registered dietitian nutritionist, the keto diet can put followers at risk for kidney problems, dehydration, and the keto flu and more. However, some Reddit users are now talking about one strange side effect known as the keto crotch.
Oh.
It refers to a change in vaginal odor. Since the keto diet calls for a mixture of high-fat, low-carb foods with moderate proteins, it can be an adjustment for your body to get used to, and it may cause some funky side effects like changing your vaginal odor.
Uh-oh.
There's research on this topic. The medical phenomenon may happen when you drastically change your diet by incorporating large amounts of macronutrients like fat and protein. Change the pH of the body, and when this happens, the body will emit certain odors. The keto diet may change your vaginal pH, which alters your vaginal odor, and it may not smell like roses.
Stanky.
Why does this all matter? Well, a pH imbalance can bring upon bad bacterial growth. And can develop irritation, odor infections, such as bacterial vaginosis, the most common vaginal infection for menstruating people.
Oh, my goodness.
A pH of less than 7 is considered acidic. A pH of more than 7 is considered basic. A high vaginal pH may lead to keto crotch.
Wow.
So, if you're doing the keto diet and you got a boyfriend, or you are listening to this program and you have a girlfriend or a wife who's doing keto and you're thinking about having to go down there, be aware.
Beware.
You may want to bring a gas mask or something, because apparently you may be running into the keto crotch thing. And in fact,
it's going to be stinky.
Well, there's talk of that kind of stuff for years about, that kind of thing where, depending on what you eat, it can affect certain things down there, and you have to be careful. Like, there's the one thing where supposedly there are guys who are really sexual active who supposedly eat pineapple because it makes their stuff taste better or whatever the heck.
Especially if it's been hidden with cocaine.
Yes. Yes. That makes it wonderful. That makes it amazing. That brings, as long as we're still in the genitals, let's get to the male side of this. Right here in Indiana, near us in Indiana, Marion, Indiana, which is in the middle of the state of Indiana, an Indiana man, accidentally shot himself in the genital area.
Why?
The officers came in contact with a 46-year-old man in the emergency room. The man told the officers he was on a near walkway near a Girl Scout cabin when the high point 9mm handgun on his waist began to slip. The man reached down to adjust the gun and accidentally causing it to discharge. The police say that the bullet entered just above the man's penis and exited his scrotum.
Oh, that's rough.
Here's an idea. Don't put your gun next to your gun.
Okay.
Otherwise, you will shoot blanks for both. Don't put your gun near your gun next to your gun. That's not going to work.
Where's that gun sound effect from the Escape Club?
Yeah, really. This is why. Okay. This one actually is from. This one's been a little bit in the news too. A man fakes his own kidnapping to avoid a $50,000 Super Bowl bet.
Oh, okay. Some bet.
In the back of the truck with hands and feet tied up. Robert Brendel, 60, was arrested in Western New York after officers found him in the back of his pickup truck with hands and feet wrapped in duct tape. He told the police he was abducted at gunpoint on Monday by two men who threatened and stole $16,000 in cash, according to the police statement. He claimed these robbers forced him to drive around Western New York for 2 days against his will, tied up in the back seat of his vehicle, and left him in a parking lot. He said these suspects were involved in Super Bowl squares betting, but the investigators said he had made the whole thing up. Police further investigation and interviews revealed the elaborate story was fabricated because he was running a $50,000 Super Bowl pool in which he made up names on some of the squares, hoping to win and take most of the winnings. Michael came up with the kidnapping scheme because he was unable to pay out and was short most of the $50,000. This guy ran a football pool, a $50,000 payout football pool. He came up with a couple different ways where he could make money off it, and it eventually fell flat.
Wow.
And now he can't make the money up to the people who obviously or eventually won the pool. Callahan said investigators were tipped off because Brando, who claimed to be held captive for multiple days, appeared clean-shaven when he was discovered.
Okay.
We're on the third day, and when we find him, he's pretty clean-shaven around the beard. A normal person with abduction has gone through something like that, and their heart rate would be high, they would be worried, depressed, and a lot of emotions would be bubbling up. He's charged with defraud, felony, and falsely reporting an incident. He's scheduled to appear in court sometime this March. It's unclear if he's obtained legal counsel. Wacky question. Is it legal to have a Super Bowl pool of that kind of money in New York? I wouldn't think so.
I don't know.
Will he be able to keep his job on the TV show Empire?
Oh, this guy? He's on Empire? No, he's not. Oh, that's the other guy. Yeah.
That's like what Qui-Gon said. Every time you gamble, eventually you lose.
Yeah. He doesn't
Bet
have
on Sebulba to win. That's what happens when you bet on Sebulba to win.
Well, here's the problem. If you're going to do something like this, there's some things that are pretty obvious, like don't shave. You could Google and YouTube how to get away with this stuff, and they tell you things like this, but clearly he didn't. But then again, and here's the thing. If you're going to rig a Super Bowl pool, how did you rig it and lose?
I don't know. Something's missing there.
You don't have to be. That was the first clue. That he's the dumbest criminal, one of the dumbest criminals on the planet. There you go. There's your answer.
Unless it was a throw and it paid out more with the throw than the win.
Well, apparently, we still have a few more to go. In this particular version, apparently there was such a thing as a chocolate butthole, but now we can get chocolate penises.
Smaller version of big penis cakes, but okay.
Apparently, you can get something that's called Dick at Your Door. It has chocolate, dicks, which means you have new exciting options. It basically, there's a picture here. It looks like, it's a molded chocolate dick. You can, and here's the thing: when you open the packaging, it says "Eat a dick." I guess they were here for Valentine's Day, and they went viral.
Can you imagine that in conversation? Oh, excuse me, I got a dick in my mouth. Can I call you back?
Well, here's the good news. They're all vegan, so that's good.
Right.
And in fairness, I'm looking at this. It is very well detailed. I don't know who they did a mold of or something. Apparently it's only 4 inches big, almost 5. Well, so 2 days. Wow, we need 2. Chocolate is on the bitter side. Maybe it's because of the Kato crotch. I don't know.
Is it hollow or solid? And is there a cream filling?
It looks. I haven't seen anything about a cream filling.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah. So apparently you can get a chocolate stick. So there you go. Or you can send it to your enemies or whatever the heck it is. There are neighbors who are upset with a Texas man because apparently he decided to paint his entire house pink.
Okay, so
and I'm looking at the picture. It's pretty pink.
Hey, his house.
His neighbors are calling it a major eyesore. He north of Austin, Texas, decided to paint his entire home pink. Simple reason, it's his favorite color. And he says this is his dream home and has no plans of changing anything. There's no homeowners association. There's no homeowners association.
Good for him.
There's no homeowners association, and apparently if they want to change, they're going to have to get a lawsuit. Good luck with that. It's his property.
But if it lowers property values, then they could be able to take action.
I guess. All I know is it's behind this big, huge wall that's like not painted wall that has private property stickers all over it, and behind it is this neon pink building, and it's crazy. Let's see. There was a welfare check for somebody because there was apparently somebody that they thought was a man standing in the snow. It wasn't a man. It wasn't the deranged person at all. Apparently, it was a cardboard cutout.
Okay.
And it was a cardboard cutout of the My Pillow guy.
Oh, wow.
Hey, you had those My Pillows?
Huh?
I'm sorry?
Either of you guys have those My Pillows?
Yes, they're nice.
Yeah.
They're nice. They're
kudos to that guy for overcoming his his addiction and creating this super awesome company.
All right, I didn't know about that.
Cardboard cutout. Yeah, he was a drug addict.
Wow.
The
Yeah,
founder
so
of My
apparently
Pillow.
there was a cardboard cutout. The caller who called 911 said not to approach the man. He might be deranged standing alone in the cold like that.
Wow.
So
That's what I do if I get cardboard cutouts. I'd put them out in the snow.
And that worked. Let's see. We have how much more do we got? Oh, this one's been out there. This goes kind of. This isn't really the salsa thing, but we can talk a little bit about this. I think this is our last. No, we have one more story after this. I got this and one more.
Okay.
And this one's been talked about. I think Ivan, you may have heard about this one. So apparently there was a snowbound man and his dog that were stuck in Bend, Oregon for 5 days in the car, and they survived on one particular type of food.
Was it candy bars?
Nope.
What was it?
Taco Bell hot sauce.
Oh, that's right, the packets.
Yep. He had packets of Taco Bell hot sauce.
Okay. Why did I think of candy bars? All right, never mind.
That's okay, but apparently he had a whole bunch of them. I wonder if he gave them to the dog. That's pretty scary. Why would you do it? I don't know that I could give that.
Well, were they hot or were they mild? If they were mild,
apparently, like some of them were the fire ones and some of them were the hot ones.
Oh, shit.
I don't think you'd give them to the dog. Well, yeah, the dog would definitely have done that.
No, that would have not. That and of course the lack of water. It's like, ooh, that had to have been rough.
Yeah, but he posted something on Facebook about it that taco fire sauce saves lives. So, you know, that guy's going to be in a Taco Bell commercial. You know that's coming a mile away. That they're going to do something with that. They should.
Well, wouldn't you think that'd be good? I think that'd be good. Yeah, well, was out there.
Our final story, I think this is a good one to end on. 2 elderly men sneak out of a nursing home to attend a heavy metal festival.
What?
You were never too old to get your rock on. 2 elderly men managed to slip away from their nursing home in Germany to attend the Wacken Open Fair. Wacken Open, the largest heavy metal festival in the world over this past weekend.
Wow.
They eventually found the pair Friday at 3 a.m. local time at the festival after the retirement home reported them missing. The metalheads were reluctant to leave the 4-day festival. They had to be escorted home with a taxi and a patrol car as a precaution. The festival organizers didn't specifically address the senior daredevils, but the official Twitter account made sure to give a shout out to the elderly fans because you're never too old to rock.
Okay.
They were seeing 75,000 headlining acts included Danzig, Judas Priest, Hatebreed, and In Flames.
Wow. So that's a heavy roster, man. Hell yeah. If I was up in the years, man, I'd scoop you guys up. We'd go.
You know, the funny part is they say 2 elderly men. They don't say how old.
Yeah, I mean,
if
obviously, I don't think they couldn't have been that old to make such a track.
Maybe they just wanted a beer.
Yeah. Maybe they had pineapples with cocaine in them that they were giving kids. Except they found girls, except they all had kiddo crotch rot or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, or maybe they just wanted to cuddle with the cows.
Yeah. Slurping down hot Taco Bell hot sauce. So there you go. So if you want to do this, you want to give us stories, you want to tell us about things, Mike, how do they do that?
Well, you can send it to our Facebook page. That's where we're most active, the Squares of the Roundtable Facebook page. Hey, check us out. We find all the crazy videos for these news stories and obviously our usual comic book nerdy stuff articles. We also about that. We are on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. And, of course, we have an email address, too, SOTRT@gmail.com. Thank you for listening on PodBean. We are also on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe. You get notifications when new episodes drop, typically every Wednesday. And thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Scott, our loyal listener, for sending these crazy, goofy articles. We appreciate it. And next week we'll be back, and we will get my thoughts on Captain Marvel and
me too. I hope,
and lots of other stuff.
Have a good one. See you next time.
A long one tonight. That's what she said.
Oh,
unless it's the chocolate dick. That's only 4 or 5 inches.
that's all?
That's it.
And that's it.